Well, a record number of student tickets handed out at USF this week. They are ready for the best kind of hurricane warning as Miami makes the trip across Alligator Alley to take on USF here in Tampa as we welcome you to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. And we welcome you to Raymond James Stadium. Bob Wischusen alongside Lewis Riddick. Chris Budden is with us as well. There is a buzz for this game in this town, no question about it. A big reason why? The Canes, they look like they're back. Now, it is unfair to compare any Miami team to the great teams of the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, 5 national championships and mustard-colored jackets in Canton, but Mario Cristobal has this roster at a different talent level than it's been at for quite some time.
Yeah, and you know why it's at a different talent level? Well, after what many considered to be two of the best recruiting classes in Miami football history, think about that, in 2023 and 2024, they're loaded, folks. But what really has people excited about Miami football in 2024 is the prized possession that they got out of the portal, that being Cam Ward, the Heisman Trophy favorite. And let me show you why people may consider him the betting favorite right now to win the Heisman Trophy. His football intelligence, his pre-snap recognition. He sees here, he says, look, safeties, I know you look like you're going to show me a two-high look. I know you're going to rotate down the single high, and I'm going to audible to a 3-level flood concept, and I'm going to layer that thing right over to the flat defender and throw a strike. Here, free safety. I know you're going to go to the middle of the field. I'm going to just hold you here just for a beat with my eyes, and I'm going to send my ex-receiver on a stutter go, and I'm going to throw an absolute dart on the sideline. That's how you wind up with over 1,000 passing yards and 11 touchdowns with 1 interception through 3 weeks, and you're completing over 70% of your passes. Is the U back? We're going to find out tonight, and he's going to have something to say about it.
Well, they're in the paddock. Are the Bulls? They are set to take the field, and they're faithful on their feet. Not only will the Canes have to deal with USF as the Bulls storm onto the field here in Tampa, but they will also have to deal with the beef studs. To explain, here's Chris Budd.
I know when you heard the word beef studs, you thought that I would be talking about the two of you in the booth, but I'm not. This is the student section down here at USF. A tradition started 2 decades ago, all painted in green and gold. Usually about 30 to 40 of them. There are over 100 of them today, and already a record-breaking student crowd. Over 13,000 in the house today. Hoping to see an upset on this field, boys.
It's going to be a loud student section. And the Hurricanes, they are embracing this road atmosphere. Already got a big road win in their opener against Florida. Can they do it again in Tampa? We are about to find out. We'll kick it off in just a moment. Welcome back to Tampa. You are watching the American Conference on ESPN. Set for game time between USF and USF won the toss, and the Bulls deferred their option to the third quarter, so they'll start the third quarter with the football. Miami will receive to begin, 83 degrees. And as you would expect, humid at this time of the year in Florida. And a raucous crowd. They've had this one circled, Lewis, for quite a while.
They sure have. Look, this is a big time coming out party for South Florida. They have been looking forward to this game. And I'll tell you this, head coach Alex Golesh, he's told us our guys are locked in. We know the opportunity. And the guy on your screen, quarterback Byron Brown, when he gets his chance, America's going to get introduced to him too. This is a heck of a matchup.
It's the 7th meeting between the two programs, but the first since 2013. And with the feeling in this building right now, it shouldn't be another 11 years before they meet again. Obviously, it's good to know they're going to be going back and forth a couple of more times, as it looks like a fair catch may have been made down for a touchback by Jordan Lyle. So our first opportunity to see Cam Ward, who is off to as good a start as any quarterback so far this season. And talk about coming out of nowhere. 1 scholarship offer out of high school. Goes to Incarnate Word, shows up on the radar of the power schools, ends up on the Palouse, and ends up on Miami's radar. And now he's #1 in America with 11 touchdown passes through the first 3 weeks of the season. And he's got a run game he can depend upon as well. Damian Martinez in the backfield, but that's broken up. He tried to squeeze one into a tight window to Sam Brown, and he almost paid the price. Brent Austin jumped the route.
This secondary of USF, South Florida, it's the strength. This team is strong from back to front. The secondary, they can match up man-to-man with anybody in the country. They're supremely confident, and wait till you see these young men tackle. They will come and hit.
Now it's Martinez. Brought down behind the line. A loss of at least 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 13. Mac Harris. He became a starter midway through last season, and boy, did he show up against Alabama a couple of weeks ago. 1.5 tackles for loss in that game, already a tackle for loss on the opening series.
One of the people we talked to yesterday, supremely confident in the game plan and what they were going to be able to get accomplished today. Now defensive coordinator Todd Orlando, this is where he goes to work. They have pressure packages for days, and they're going to turn them all loose.
What does Cam Ward see? He sees a 5-man rush, well protected, fires over the middle. In stride, it's Restrepo. Makes him hand miss, and he's got the first down. Xavier Restrepo just adding to his record-breaking totals at UF.
Restrepo, you're going to see him here in the stack alignment, just release and then watch him run that speed dig. When I mean by speed, he doesn't break down at all. Look at the speed he carries out of the break, and Cam Ward just puts it on him. He is a problem, folks. You have to have a game plan for him.
One-on-one shot, but overthrown. He was looking for Jacoby George. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
And you can see right now, but Cam Ward likes to put it up. He is going to test you down the field. He has 3 guys in Jacoby George, Restrepo, and Sam Brown Jr. All 3 of them were on the Biletnikoff Award watch list at the beginning of the season for best wide receiver in the country. And I can tell you this, Shannon Dawson, their offensive coordinator, said it's hard not to just let Cam put it up every play.
Tunnel screen, Isaiah Horton. It'll be 3rd down and 6. 750 yards of total offense last week against Ball State for Miami. Now, they were protecting Cam Ward to the point that he was just throwing 7-on-7.
And defensive coordinator Todd Orlando from South Florida said, look, he knows he can't let him just sit back there and get a clean picture. You got to change the picture, pre-snap to post-snap, change the fronts, change the look. Do you have 8 up? Do you have just 4 up? Make him hesitate just a tick so the pass rush can get there.
This time they bring 4. It's a little dump off. Martinez leaks out of the backfield and easily picks up the 1st down and gets across the 50-yard line to the USF 45 before he's bumped out by Tavin Ward at the 44. That's a 14-yard gain and back-to-back 3rd down conversions for UM on this opening drive.
You just see the poise of Cam Ward. He's in full control at all times. Eyes always down the field, knows where his outlets are, knows where his safety valves are. And he's got a fleet of backs right now. When he puts it in their hands, they can catch and run with the best in the country.
Flag down. And Martinez is down after a gain of 5. We'll have to check the marker, thrown right at the line of scrimmage at the snap. And it looks like USF was lined up in the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense number 90 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty enforced in the previous spot. It's 1st down.
You know, Lewis, Cam Ward ran the wing T as a senior in high school, right? A 0-star recruit. He goes to Incarnate Word.
Yep.
Now he's a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Maybe a top pick. Maybe the top pick when all is said and done. Who knows? How much does this surprise you that he has become this player and looks this calm, cool, and collected at that position?
Well, a lot of it is intrinsic. A lot of it is who he is. But it's all about situations and getting his opportunity, and he's getting it now.
There he goes. Out of the pocket. Flag down on the near side of the field as Ward is shoved down out of bounds on the far side of the field. Mac Harris bumped him out. And maybe a little something extra after he went out of bounds. He got all the way down into the red zone, it looked like, before he left the field. But the flag thrown all the way back out near the 30-yard line.
you're South Florida, you have to maintain your composure, both in terms of your assignments and knowing what you're supposed to do. Can't let a guy like Cam Ward break the pocket and buy even more time to use that cannon of an arm. And then just be careful with the post-play fouls, the unnecessary roughnesses. You got to play smart against this guy. You can't give him any extra chances. He's just too good.
Tim Rich is our referee. And he's explaining the call to Mario
There are two
Cristobal.
fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding, defense number 34. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced at the end of the run. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 2, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Wow, so they get both penalties because the hold was during the play, and then obviously the personal foul called after the play for the extra shove there by Mac Harris. So the run by Harris for Cam Ward for 18 yards plus both penalties makes it 1st and goal at the 5.
And you just got to play smart. And you see there, defensive coordinator Todd Orlando, not the start that he wants. But let me just tell you, this team has tremendous resilience. They'll get themselves calmed down, and they better get themselves calmed down, because you can't make it this easy for Miami's offense to just march right down the field.
One-on-one, Jacoby George tied up, flag out in the end zone. That's going to be a hold or pass interference. Amaris Brown Bunkley was there in coverage. Already the 4th flag flown against USF on this opening drive.
Pass interference, defense. The ball occurred in the end zone. By rule, we place at the 2-yard line with an automatic first down.
You see there, the hands just get high and on top of the shoulder pads. You got to change your aiming point. Your aiming point with your jam cannot be high and on top of the pads. It's got to be at the breastplate and inside. You get your hands high and wide outside like that, they'll call you every time. Footwork was nice. These corners for South Florida are very good in press coverage. You just got to be smart. There's a lot of emotions flying around down here right now. They got to get themselves calmed down.
Brown Bunkley one-on-one against Jacoby George again. Same formation as Martinez lines up behind Cam Ward. They'll run it this time. Touchdown! Damian Martinez, 2nd of the season. What an opening drive for UM, helped by the penalties, and they've got the early lead.
It's just power. You're going to get a double team. You're going to get a single block. You're going to get a pull and kick out. And just watch it. It works to perfection. You get movement at the point of attack. And then Damian Martinez, 232 pounds, with a head of steam coming downhill, and you get movement at the point of attack like that, it's going to be 6 every time.
Andres Borregales, number 4 all-time in points at Miami, adds to his total, and it's 7-0 Canes.
Keys to the game here today for Miami: dominate the line of scrimmage, 170+ yards rushing. They have a dominant rushing attack despite having one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Make Byron Brown throw to win. They got to neutralize him as a running quarterback and make him put the ball up. For South Florida, they get the ball now, got to go super fast and wear it out this Miami defensive front, which is one of the best truly in all of college football. And then defensively, when they get Cam Ward back on the field, they got to change the picture on Cam Ward and get him off rhythm. How do you get him off rhythm? You got to put some hits on him and hurry him up. They weren't able to do that, and you see that it resulted in 6. Can't be that way all night long, or it's going to be a long night.
See if USF can respond. They'll start at their own 25-yard line. And they will start with a quarterback that is putting up numbers similar to Jaden Daniels. Well, if you're Byron Brown, and that's the comp, that's not bad. One of 2 players last season with 3,000 passing yards and 800 rushing yards. The other was Jaden Daniels. And so far this season, he's on pace to put up similar numbers. Again, a true dual threat quarterback. Last year he was number 2 in quarterback rushing yards. So far this year, number 2 in quarterback rushing yards. He is the orchestra leader. And they will go up-tempo, to say the least. And they'll start on the ground. Kelly Joyner Jr. No gain on first down.
There you see it, that defensive front from Miami. How do you get it blocked? Tyler Barron, one of the best defensive ends to transfer from Tennessee in the country. Simeon Barrow, transfer from Michigan State. These guys are studs now. They are prototypical NFL prospects. Got to get them blocked.
Play action, Brown out of the pocket. Tucks it under. And picks up about 5, and he gets hit. Flags fly. Kiko Mauinoa. It looks like he'll pick up a 15-yard foul.
After the play, personal foul. Late hit, defense number 1. 15-yard penalty.
So each team with a late hit on the opposition's quarterback out of bounds. This one costs the Canes.
But Bob, you can tell. I mean, Kiko didn't even really want to hit him. He tried to pull off, and it's just unnecessary, right? He was caught in no man's land. When you don't know, don't go. Just pull off. Because now you're giving life to a football team that is looking for it, and the quarterback's going to provide it. You can provide them with a fresh set of downs almost at the midfield mark. That's not what you want.
Brown on play action. The slant. A modest gain of 3 to Abdur-Rahman Yassin. It'll be second down and 7. Jadis Richard immediately brought him down. Quick handoff. Joyner gets a block. Picks up the first down and more. To the Canes' 40-yard line before he's tripped up. Picks up 12.
There you just see the gap schemes where they're just getting the double team at the point of attack, pulling, getting it second level.
Brown throws that one away as he got out the pocket, but was being chased, so it'll be second down and 10. Sean Atkins the closest to it.
Looked like he was trying to get the ball to Michael Brown-Stevens down at the bottom of the screen on what they call like a speed in cut. Comes off the line of scrimmage, just wants to break it over the middle, but the corner was positioned perfectly, had to pull it down.
Spin move, and unable to shake free was Joyner Jr. Mesidor brought him down for a loss of a couple. That is a sleek, athletic, quick Miami defensive front. They are tough to block.
You see Mesidor right there. He just wins with a quick swing right at the snap over the center. Number 65, Mike Lofton. He never saw him. This front is a problem, folks. It will be the engine that drives Miami as far as they can go this year.
Third down and 12. And now the look over. Brown buying time. Runs ahead and slides and only picks up about 3 yards. Not sure they're in field goal range yet. This is 4th down and long, though. 4th and at least 9, if not 10. I mean, from here, you're looking at about a 57, maybe a 58-yard field goal. They may be forced to punt. No, it looks like they're going to send out the freshman Nico Gramatica.
Reporting as number 35.
So Nico Gramatica has a very strong leg, and they're going to let the freshman go out and try one from 57 yards, just a shade inside 58.
If you're Miami right now, you always have to be alert on special teams against South Florida.
58 yards away. Will it reach? It will. He's got it. The first career field goal for Nico Gramatica. Following in his dad's footsteps and his uncle's footsteps. If the name sounds familiar, it should. As Gramatica connects. And USF's on the board.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 19 hotel brands, 1 loyalty program. Download the app. And in part by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renter's Insurance. Visit progressive.com.
The USF founded their program back in 1997, 1998 here at Raymond James Stadium. They have shared this stadium with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That all changes, though, in the fall of 2027. Because in a few weeks, they're going to break ground on that brand new stadium scheduled to open in 2027 on campus, a brand new campus football stadium they are going to construct. Will be right across campus from their basketball arena, so the kids can walk to the game. A touchdown drive to open for Miami. Our drive recap covered by Geico. They were helped out, Lewis, by some penalties, but Cam Ward did work. Yeah, it's explosive plays. You got to eliminate them. This is the #1 team in the country at producing 20-plus yard explosives. Then you can't let them tack on those explosive plays with dumb penalties. Here, you're just seeing the power of this offensive line, just running a double team, getting the puller from the tight end, and just slamming it up in there with 232-pound Damian Martinez. Got to get some pressure on Cam Ward if you're South Florida. That has got to be defensive coordinator Todd Orlando's #1 priority. Play action here. Screen Sam Brown. Lost a half yard. The carry is Hawthorne, who actually played for Todd Orlando at FAU. Came up to help on the stop. It's a good job of playing with good eyes as part of the coverage scheme of South Florida. When they have all that ball handling, have motions, receivers coming across the formation, you got to play with good eyes. Don't look at Cam. Understand what your assignment is so you can cover it, tackle it, get receivers on the ground. Hobbs one down the sideline, just out of the reach of Restrepo. So now can USF get a third down stop? A couple of third down conversions were a big part of that opening drive for Miami. What would you do, Lewis? They brought pressure and it was ineffective on the opening drive. Where would you go here? I think here now you're maybe trying to run a simulated pressure, like you're going to run, bring 5, but only rush with 4. Play some zone behind it, but play tight zone, meaning zone man matchup. As the routes declare, you've got to be able to match the patterns. Again, make Cam Ward unsure of his pre-snap read. Because you see now, he's already checking. He sees something that he recognizes. Up the seam, in stride, Jacoby George. The ball ripped away. It's a 50-50 struggle for it at the 45-yard line. A helmet flies on the near side of the field as well, and flags are thrown as Mark Fletcher got into a shoving match. Brent Austin, it looks like, took the football away. Yeah, Bob, I think really here what happened, Jacoby George, he just couldn't get it secured. Ball started bouncing up in the air. And Brent Austin is just right there trailing the play. It's his coverage responsibility. He's just trying to chase it down. Tips and overthrows, you got to get them. And then I think running back Mark Fletcher loses his poise.
An interception after the play, personal foul. Miami #4. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced. First down, South Florida.
Away from the ball, Mark Fletcher, it looked like, ripped the helmet right off, I believe, of Decarius Hawthorne. So that's a 15-yard foul after the takeaway. Here you see it. Jacoby George, he just cannot get the ball secured. And quarterback Brent Austin is right there trailing the play. You see they run a little bit of a switch release. He has to make his way through traffic and just keep running, chasing the receiver. And then you see Mark Fletcher right here. So off the takeaway. Striking distance now for Brown. Wide open. Peyton Singletary, the tight end. Pile drive down at the 12-yard line by Deani Hill, but it's a gain of 18. We got coverage bust on the part of the Hurricanes. Just turning the tight end loose out in the flat. Easy catch and throw, or throw and catch by Byron Brown. First down and 10 in the red area. Atkins in motion. Brown back of the end zone, incomplete. That might have been a throwaway. I'm not sure that he was even trying to get the ball to Yassine as he was doubled.
Down here, the quarterback just becomes a tremendous threat because of his running ability. Byron Brown now on called quarterback powers, quarterback draws. If they spread him out, he is dangerous with his legs. You have to be aware of it.
Reverse. Throwing the football wide open. Brown from Atkins. A role reversal. Normally it's Brown to Atkins. This time it's Brown from Atkins for the touchdown.
You're just going to see the handoff. You're going to see this. Come back around. Quarterback just slips out here in the flat. What is this? This is Philly, folks. The play that Nick Foles made famous in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Executed to perfection. The result is 6.
Blocked extra point. And a live ball. Well, a good job by the kicker, John Cannon, to get back to make a tackle, or else it would have been to the other way. So only a 6-point trip for USF. Sean Atkins was a quarterback in high school. So, Lewis, this is a pretty natural-looking throw, but it was a takeaway that set it up.
Yeah, that's what South Florida has made a living of this year, turning the football over, giving their offense more chances at it. And if you aren't on your assignments, they're going to burn you for 6.
Well, Byron Brown has plenty of rushing and passing touchdowns. Now he's got a receiving touchdown on his resume as well, courtesy of Sean Atkins, a former walk-on who wears number 38. Almost out of spite, he made me wear 38 as a walk-on. I'm not giving it up, but Byron Brown now officially a triple threat. As a thrower, runner, and receiver. And a surprise onside kick. Trying to steal a possession here is USF. Did they? A flag was thrown as well. We'll have to check the penalty marker. And this was very close to being out of bounds. So close to being perfectly executed.
Offside, kicking team number 80. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced and re-kick.
That's Joshua Porter, who was the player running down the sideline to try and field the surprise onside kick.
See him right there. He's just trying to get a jump and time it up.
Yep. Good call.
Just gets a little bit too anxious, trying to get a good running start on it. That was so close to being exactly the start that South Florida could just dream of in this game. But, you know, you got to love, Bob, you've got to love how head coach Alex Golesh is approaching this game. He is pulling out all the stops. He has nothing but supreme confidence in his football team. That's as impressive of a guy to talk to as you will see in all of college football. And these players love him here in Tampa.
He's really cerebral. It seemed like you really enjoyed talking to him yesterday as much as anyone.
Absolutely, because it's just like talking to another, just another dude talking ball. But he has such a great feel for the relationship aspect and how important it is.
This kickoff blown dead as well.
Before the kick, replay has stopped the game for an official review.
On what aspect they are reviewing. Let's check in with Matt Austin. And Matt, our officiating expert, now joins us. The only element I was imagining they could be reviewing here is the onside kick that may have gone out of bounds, and that might give Miami the ball out at the 40-yard line. What are you thinking they're looking at?
I think that's exactly right. The receiver, the kicking team member that ran down and caught the ball, he got the ball in the air, then landed out of bounds. So that would make it a kick out of bounds. That would give Miami the right to take the ball at that spot and then tack on the offside from that spot.
So rather than a re-kick, this would give Miami terrific field position. If he is indeed out of bounds, it would be a kick out of bounds. And they'd be almost at midfield, Lewis, rather than having to return a kick maybe down inside their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, again, exactly what you don't want with this explosive offense. You can see the right foot there on the sideline stripe. Very advantageous review for Miami. Now you give the football and you see it, that right foot. Well, that's close. Given one of the most explosive offenses, if not the most explosive passing offense in all of college football.
I guess the question here as well is, does he have possession of the ball when the right foot is down, or does he fully possess the ball now, which I guess, Matt, would make the second foot the foot that's an issue, and that foot lands well out of bounds.
Yeah, that's correct, and I'm not sure possession even makes a difference. Once he touches the ball that lands out of bounds, it's going to be able to kick out of bounds.
After reviewing the play, it's the ruling on the field of the receiver catching the ball inbound stands. Therefore, the offside foul will be enforced. We will re-kick.
Yeah, so they just didn't have enough of a clear-cut look to see possession and a foot out of bounds. So they have to go back and kick the ball off for a third time here. But that is certainly worth looking at, and certainly worth replay, saying we need to stop the play, because if they determined that that player's out of bounds, then Miami gets the ball almost at midfield via that penalty.
Yeah, I mean, this works out well here for South Florida. Again, forced a turnover, something they've been doing all year in the previous series. Now they got a chance again to see if they can get this explosive Miami offense off the field and get their quarterback back on the field and tack on some more points.
Chris Johnson from the 1. Trying to turn the corner. Another flag is down. He gets planted at the 23-yard line. Good tackle by Aquavius Berryhill.
And you're going to get a holding on Miami. Just take them back now if you're South Florida's defense. Can you produce another turnover? Can you give your offense a short field so they can go back to work? And if you're Cam Ward, can you get this running game cranked up?
Illegal block in the back. Return team number 22. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So that will back up Miami to their own 10-yard line. The next stop on the F1 schedule is the Singapore Grand Prix tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the app. And the WNBA playoffs tip off tomorrow. We'll have all 4 first-round games. It starts with Dream Liberty on ESPN at 1, then Fever Sun at 3 on ABC. And on ESPN, the Mercury and the Lynx at 5, and the Storm and the Aces at 10 Eastern. Fletcher tripped up at the 7-yard line. Tafiq Byard, making like his brother Kevin, a first-team All-Pro with the Tennessee Titans at the same spot. That's a strong safeties play right there, a loss of 3.
Just watch this. Watch Tafiq Byard. I said the secondary was the strength of this team. He times it up perfect, and wham! This secondary, they're a bunch of trained assassins now. These guys can tackle in space. They can all run. They're a close-knit group, and they are ready for the challenge. They accept the challenge going up against this explosive Miami offense.
Ward out to Horton to the 15-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Mac Harris made the stop.
The money down, 3rd down. This is where Cam Ward does some of his best work, his ability to read your mail, read your pre-snap look. Can you hide your mail? Can you kind of deceive him as far as how many rushers you're bringing, what the coverage rotation is going to be? They've got to get hits on him.
an escape hatch. A little ball fake and a first down scramble. Again, another stop for Mac Harris, but not before Cam Ward scrambles for a first down. Rico Watson there as well.
And you see they disguised the pressure, bringing DeMarco Augustin off the edge. Looked like he was going to be in coverage, and then comes off the edge to Cam Ward's blind side. That's the kind of deception that they're going to try and employ. Cam able to just step up in the pocket and pick up the first. But that's what you're going to see all night from defensive coordinator Todd Orlando. He's going to throw the whole playbook at him.
They fake the end around. Wide open screen to Damian Martinez with room to roam. Martinez lowers his shoulders and gets to the 41-yard line of USF. 36-yard catch and run before Byard finally brought him down.
I want you to watch right here and watch this. You have three guys covering one. A little miscommunication, and they just let the running backs slip out of the backfield uncovered. Just miscommunication. It leads to explosive plays every single time. You have to be on top of it as far as making sure that your assignment is secure. Costly mistake for South Florida.
Ward rifles one over the middle. Controlled by Isaiah Horton. Another 22 yards for Miami.
That is just a beautiful throw. Beautiful throw. Look at Cam trying to hold the free safety, get him to move just a little bit, and get him to stutter his feet. Just to open up that window for Isaiah Horton to come across on that big bender, coming across the field. That speed four, as they call it, the in-breaker. Just run out of the breaking. Just keep running across the field. I'll put it on you so you can catch and run. That's just fabulous execution. Part of the Miami passing attack.
Martinez tripped up. Two yards. Well, Cam Ward is the orchestrator, but boy, he has a lot of places, Lewis, to go with the football.
And look at Restrepo, one of the best wide receivers in Miami football history. Jacoby George, the speedster down the field, who can create big plays. Elijah Arroyo, this is tight end U. He's going to be the next great one. He'll probably be a day one pick in the draft. Damian Martinez, just a stud, 230-plus pounds. They've got weapons everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And with the trigger man, who's the betting favorite for the Heisman Trophy, you know you got your work cut out for you.
It's two tight ends in the slot to the bottom of your screen. They haven't even gone that way yet. Here they run the pick play, and Jacoby George is down to the 6-yard line.
Offensive coaches, Bob, they don't like you calling it a pick play, although it is a pick.
Well, I thought, I know who I'm working with. I figured you'd love it.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? I will call it a pick play because, you know, that's what offenses try to do. They try to run rubs, especially when they get a lot of man coverage, and just try and get some space. And when you give a guy like Jacoby George an opportunity to get space and then just work with green grass, it usually results in 6 or at least an explosive.
Slant, end zone, touchdown. That easy. Isaiah Horton. Miami's got the lead back.
Look at the release right here of Isaiah Horton. Just watch him stutter, jab outside real hard, and get the corner to just settle. Deshaun Rucker's one of their best corners. He is their best corner on South Florida's defense. And as soon as you hesitate just a bit, and Cam throws with that kind of anticipation and accuracy, it's an indefensible play.
.147 to go in the first. An 8-play, 90-yard touchdown drive.
You just see Cam Ward just putting it right on the money. This is going to be one of these tough assignments on the part of South Florida. You got to maintain your composure. You got to find a way to get some pressure on Cam Ward. As you see, the weapons are just too much. Isaiah Horton, 6'4", 205 pounds with that kind of catch radius. I mean, Cam can put it anywhere, and he's just going to go and get it. Jacoby George with his speed, Restrepo with his ability to work the middle of the field. It's just a long night A tough assignment. South Florida has to find a way to answer now.
12 touchdown passes on the season now for Ward. And we'll see what USF has as their answer. It'll land in the end zone for a touchback. Let's check in with Matt Barry. What a win that is for Michigan, as Teron Keith is wrestled down after a gain of 1. Tyler Barron was right there for Miami. You wondered how Michigan, after getting knocked around by Texas at home in that big matchup to start the season, how they would respond. That's a big response win against a ranked USC team. Brown brought down about 3 yards shy of the first down.
That's Michigan showing their football character, bouncing back, continuing to fight, never giving up. The same kind of thing that South Florida's going to have to show here all night. It's going to be a test of their football character. We've talked about it every week in the games that we've done. How long can you hang in the fight? Will you fight for 3.5 hours, never give up? This team is made of the right stuff. I think they will respond.
Four-man rush. Brown up the seam, in stride, it's Atkins. First down and more. He snuck past Jaden Harris.
If you aren't going to get a hit on Sean Atkins at the line of scrimmage and allow him to free release, I've watched him run routes in practice. He will chew you up.
Now they want the deep shot. Incomplete. Looking for Joshua Hardiman.
That is South Florida to a T. Spread you out, try and hit you with the counters and powers and the runs inside, and then get you in one-on-ones on the outside and throw deep shots on you. And they've got guys with speed. They got guys with catch radius like Hardiman, 6'4", 212, that can go up and get it on the outside.
They run it here with Teron Keith. And he fights hard for about 3. Simeon Barrow brings him down. We'll see if USF gets another snap off before the end of the quarter. They can go fast, but we're down to 5 seconds remaining. And it looks like that will take us to the end of the first quarter. So a big third down to open up the second quarter, but that was an action-packed first 15 minutes here in Tampa.
Baby. Just what we want.
The Canes on the road. They opened the season with an impressive road win at the Swamp. Now they're in Tampa, back and forth with the Bulls. And Miami with the early lead.
Coach, we've seen the trickeration early. What does that say about what you think it'll take to win tonight?
I think we just got to be us. We're going to be aggressive. We've always been aggressive. We're going to continue to be aggressive. Obviously tried to steal a possession there. Didn't work. Young freshman was offside. You know what? I just went to him and said, you're going to have another shot. We're going to keep going. So it's awesome. Look at this place. We just got to keep rolling. Next play.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
There's a coach embracing the moment. And let's see how aggressive they are on 3rd down and 6 here. To open up the second quarter. Brown, shovel pass. And how aggressive will they be, Lewis? You loved that answer. Now they've got 4th down and 3.
I think here it's an obvious go-for-it type of situation for them. I mean, that's how aggressive they have been so far. Well, maybe it's not that obvious, especially with the way the kicker has been kicking the ball early in this football game. But yeah, you know, that play call made you think, as we talked about in the break, they run the football, maybe they are going to go for it, depending upon what the down and distance is.
Nico Grammatica already made one from 58. They're going to try one from 51 here to make this a 2-point game. He hit it it well again. And this one is right down the pipe. Maybe he'll be kicking for the Bucs someday too.
You gotta love it now.
Right.
You gotta love it. Make it a one-score game. You see, he just gets a good hit on it, and he absolutely splits the uprights.
Grammatica is 2 for 2, both from 50 plus. And now we've got a quick word from Verbo.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, when other vacation rentals make you share your turf with a host, try one that's all yours.
Coach Saban's enjoying retirement.
I love I've seen that look a lot in my day, where he just came back and said, those are the rules. That's a rule. That's just such a picture-perfect commercial for him. Does he seem like he's having fun on the set of College Game Day?
Yes.
What?
I enjoyed, he did a great film breakdown of Arch Manning earlier today as well with Reese. It's just great to crawl inside his football brain as well.
He is the absolute professor.
Here comes Chris Johnson on the return. Again, trying to turn the corner. Gets to about the 25-yard line, steps out at the 26. Time now for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
All right, entering this week, Cam Ward was one of 2 FBS quarterbacks to throw for at least 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in all 3 games this season. Can you name the other?
Give that some thought, Bob.
Okay.
Let's give it a little bit of thought.
1st and 10, Miami at their own 26. As Ward will look to add to his totals. Out of the pocket, flag down. Sidearms one to Restrepo. And Restrepo bobbing and weaving across the 50-yard line. USF thinks this is coming back.
Illegal formation. Offense, number 70 was lined up in the backfield. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's first down.
That's Markel Bell, the gigantic left tackle, playing in place again of the injured Jalen Rivers. He was not quite up on the line of scrimmage.
Gigantic is an understatement. 6'9", 340 plus. They have just got nothing but studs on the offensive and defensive line. It's changed the entire landscape for Miami, the work they have done in the trenches as far as their team building.
Screen to Elijah Arroyo. There goes the big tight end. He's drawing comparisons to Jimmy Graham. He's got 14 yards to make it 2nd down and 1.
When you see him up close and in person, I mean, he is just absolutely sleek and put together. Run routes like a wide receiver, great adjust, great hands, run after the catch. He's got it all.
Well, since the bobbled ball interception for Cam Ward, he has connected on his last 6 in a row, including a touchdown. Trying to run for the first down here. It looks like Mark Fletcher is very close, depends on the spot. Let's go down to Chris.
Elijah Arroyo finally getting a chance to show people the potential that he has. He's been injured the last 2 years, only played a total of 8 games, dealing with a knee injury. A unique story, actually grew up in Miami, moved to Mexico where he had to figure out how to play football down there, came back, moved to Texas. Said, I wanted to go to Miami, not just because I was from here and had some family here, but a chance to be a part of Tight End U.
They've got a similar story in Cam McCormick, a 7th-year senior who was injured constantly at Oregon and fought through one injury after another. As Isaiah Horton, a catch and run for a first down. And there was a great feature on him College Game Day back before the Florida game at the beginning of the season. He's a picture of determination, fighting through injury after injury to have a football career that he almost gave up on still happen.
Timeout on the field.
And now we've got an injury in this game to Amaris Brown Bunkley. So that's one of the corners for USF down. As we return, we will answer our Black trivia question. All right, Lewis, let's see if you can knock this one out. Entering this week, Cam Ward, one of 2 FBS quarterbacks that has thrown for at least 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in all 3 games this season. Who was the other?
Well, there's a certain team in Western Pennsylvania right now that is showing people that we're back, baby.
I knew this was a setup.
University of Pittsburgh, Eli Holstein, keep doing your thing, dude. Keep doing it. The Panthers are back up.
And it didn't happen today.
And it didn't happen.
That's all right. 100 points.
Yeah, you saw it.
Cam Ward back to throw. He's going to take a shot. Underthrown and incomplete. Chris Johnson certainly has the speed to get past the coverage, and he did. Jamie Petway, one of the linebackers, along with Tavin Ward, a safety, trying to stay with Chris Johnson, who's got wide receiver speed.
The last thing you want is for any linebacker, I don't care who it is, to be outside the numbers, one-on-one and off-man coverage against Chris Johnson Jr. This is a 10-4, 500-meter sprinter, probably the fastest guy on the GPS that Miami has on their roster. They raved about his speed. You have no chance out there in single high coverage like that. They dodged one right there.
Ward rolling. The rush coming. Smoothly avoids a sack. Extends the play to the opposite side of the field. Across his body, incomplete. Flag out. Jacoby George, the intended receiver. 2 flags are thrown. One on the opposite side of the field, one on the near side of the field. Deshaun Rucker bumped Jacoby George.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
And a man downfield is the only penalty that gets called.
Center Zach Carpenter, you see in those scramble situations, offensive line doesn't know quite where the quarterback is. They don't know if he's already broken, contained in the pocket, and is going to scramble. Zach Carpenter just loses track, drifts down the field.
You like taking the 5 yards there, or would you have taken the incompletion and make it 3rd down and 10?
I think here, with as explosive as this Miami offense is, they're figuring the further they have to go, the better.
Incomplete. So the strategy works as he missed Isaiah Horton. Now it's 3rd down and 15.
Isaiah Horton, for someone with his dimensions at 6'4", 210, man, is he lightning quick off the line of scrimmage. He has beaten the South Florida DBs versus press coverage at will. And he has got tremendous acceleration vertically. We're going to have a plan for him, just like they have to plan for Restrepo. Look, it's an all-day job against this offense. And you've got to win these downs, especially when it's 3rd and long. Be sure of your assignments, tackle after the catch, and get some pressure.
Arroyo splits out wide right. The pocket collapsing. Escaping his Ward. He somehow shovels it off. Jordan Lyle right at the 1st down line to gain. It looks like he got there, and he did. Wow.
That is unbelievable awareness, field vision, and just poise and composure from Cam Ward. He is going down. They're about to tackle him, and maybe it forced them to kick a field goal or punt the football.
Is replay going to take a look to see if he was down?
Is that right knee down before he released it?
The ruling in the field is under further review.
So again, our referee Tim Rich not announcing what they are going to review, but we have to imagine that Cam Ward being down before he released the ball or not is the key element of this play. That's got to be what they're looking at. And oh, is that knee on the ground there? Well, he still has the football at the 49-yard line.
You see the shin and the knee.
That looks pretty clear cut. Rico Watson was there on the tackle. So this very much appears to be coming back. And it looks like Miami will be punting with the line of scrimmage out near midfield. So you got just across the 50-yard line.
And that was just inches away from being.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down before he passed the ball backwards.
Just inches away from being one of Cam's best plays of the season in terms of just how aware he is of everything around him and how he is always looking to make a play without putting the ball in harm's way. Give South Florida credit. Running to the football, getting pressure on him, forcing him out of the pocket where he has to try and make a spectacular play. And now they get him off the field and get their quarterback, Byron Brown, back on the field, who has been just as electric today with his legs.
It's the first punt of the game for either team. And again, before that play, Miami had been 3 for 4 on third down with an average distance of 9 yards to go on third down. And they almost got another third down and long conversion. But that's a good job by Dylan Joyce, the punter, to pin Sean Atkins deep, a fair catch at the 6-yard line.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts, is brought to you by Belfort Property Restoration, restoring more than property.
A record number of beef studs in the Taco Bell Live My student section tonight. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live My student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. 15,000 tickets just to the students distributed this week. And there are the beef studs. Chris Budden spent some quality time with them pregame.
That's a great scene.
It sounds like a great band name, doesn't it? Chris Budden and the Beef Studs?
Yeah, man.
That should be a Vegas Sphere residency.
She was fired up about doing that, about going in there with him. I like it.
Well, about 93 yards away from the Beef Studs, Byron Brown at the opposite end of the stadium slips a pass to Atkins, and he tried to slip through the arms of Mish Powell, who brought him down, but not before he got to the 15-yard line, picked up 8 yards.
So if you're South Florida, you got to get the ball to Sean Atkins. This guy, last year, a record-breaking season, 92 receptions, over 1,000 yards. Got to get the ball in his hands.
Brown gets a push. Close to a first down. Looks like he might be a yard shot. So it's going to be third down and about 1.
You see Sean Atkins, the former walk-on. When I saw him at practice, I was like, you know what? Do not let his body stature in that number 38 fool you now. He will work you inside in the middle of the field with his releases, with his route running.
He gave Brown the push. He got the first down. High throw. Yassine sold out to try and pull that one down and took a pop from Deani Hill. Let's go down to Chris.
Sean Atkins came here as the walk-on, as you said, worked a full-time job, worked at a convenience store and then a steakhouse, eventually earned a scholarship. But even when he did, he still had a full-time job until Alex Golesh came up to him after he got the job and he said, listen, I appreciate the work ethic. I know you say you get it from your parents, but you could be really special here and you're burning the candle at both ends. So he gave up the job to focus on football.
Probably a good move, as dancing for a yard is Brown. So now it will be third down and long.
Here's one of these situations now. Here's the chess match.
I'm not sure they got all their players off the field, did Miami? There's a flag thrown from the secondary. It looked like the pace of USF may have caught Miami substituting as they were trying to run a player off the field.
That's the thing, as a defensive coordinator, as a player, as a broadcaster.
12 players on the field on the defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
You've got to always be alert for Alex Golich's offense.
Big number 57, Marley Cook, was trying to get off the field and didn't get off the field in time. So now it's 3rd down and 3. Play clock down to 3. Comes in motion. Play clock at 1. They just get it off. Brown on the move. There's Atkins. Pitch and catch, 1st down.
And there you see it, just send him in motion. A little bit of confusion about how to handle that little flat route, and they just get it to him quick.
Speaking of quick, Joyner, cutback lane. He's got 2 yards.
And there's the game plan, just continuing to try and bank plays, go as fast as you possibly can. Don't let Miami substitute. Don't let Miami catch their breath. Don't let them communicate very much pre-snap. Keep them on their heels, run them east and west. See if you can tire out this front and pop a big one in the run game.
A lot of Miami fans have made the trip here as well. You might hear a defense chant in the background as Byron Brown is pulled down after a gain of 3. So it's another 3rd down coming here for USF.
Defensive coordinator Lance Guidry said, look, tackling is going to be important. Our guys in the box, they're going to have to tackle this quarterback who's tacked on 20 pounds from last year to this year, and Byron Brown. We're going to have to play strong. They are not going to, he said, we're not going to let them beat us running the football with the quarterback. We'll force him to beat us through the air, putting the ball up outside.
Atkins again in motion into that bunch set. Brown, slam, Atkins, 1st down. They're now 3 for 5 on 3rd down. It's another fresh set of downs near midfield as Darryl Porter Jr. brought down Sean Atkins.
Such a good route. Just gets Porter to stutter his feet and then takes off across the field.
Think Atkins has fun playing football or what?
Yeah, you see him tapping his helmet. He's like, look, I need a breather. Get me out of here for a second. I'm running routes, catching 1st downs. These DBs are trying to jam me, put me in the turf.
Running Philly special, throwing touchdown passes, right? I'm doing everything.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Naquan Wright is now in the game. A little zone read. Brown tries the opposite side, slides under. Jaden Harris was rifling over and went tumbling and nearly got the head of Byron Brown as he was brought down at midfield. Quick snap. Brown, high throw, pulled down by Yassine. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
So you see him going high for that pass and that quick slant. Now again, the pace, just frenetic.
A hard count, and now the look over. Naquan Wright. Hit, shakes a man off, can't shake off the reserves. Only got a half yard. Francis Malinoa. Kiko came through to make first contact. It'll be 4th down and at least a yard. And this not in the field goal range of Nico Gramatica yet. So USF, it looks like, gonna line up to go for it.
Got to take care of the box. Don't allow them to run for it. Be good with your keys and your reads and hold up outside man coverage.
There goes the freshman Porter in motion. Brown on the move. He's got the pitch. Naquan Wright's got the 1st down.
Immediately they're able to capture the edge on the speed option. See, the quarterback Byron Brown had a chance to either keep it or pitch it. There was no force player on the edge. That's just an easy pitch, an easy pickup of the 1st down. Great execution.
13th play of the drive is Naquan Wright up the middle for 3. And how important is that as well, Lewis? Because Miami has had some long time consuming drives that you're going with this NASCAR speed, but you're picking up first downs, converting on 3rd down, moving the ball. As Brown drops back, he's going to take a shot here. There's a flag thrown in the offensive backfield, but you are still giving your defense a rest, right? Controlling the ball and not going 3 and out with turbo speed, put your defense right back out on the field.
Right, you're running plays pretty quickly, but staying on the field, you're right.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Tyler Barron with a personal foul. So the Tennessee transfer is off to a terrific start this year. Commits a 15-yard penalty.
And you can see it right there. Tyler Barron just trying to reset the line of scrimmage, trying to get some push. And you see the hand up underneath the face mask. Again, when you're out here on the field this long and you're getting tired, your technique, it starts to slip a little bit.
Atkins. And that was diagnosed very, very quickly. As Bish Powell keyed Sean Atkins and brought him down behind the line of scrimmage, but right back up, set to go. USF. One-on-one, it's Hardiman. Stays on his feet, dragging tacklers inside the 10. First down and goal. De'Ani Hill couldn't bring him down, went for a bit of a piggyback ride.
This pace is just absolutely blistering. I'll tell you a story at some point here of my experience down here in Tampa against a hurry-up offense in this humidity and this heat. It will test you now.
To that point, Mario Cristobal calls timeout. It almost feels like a basketball timeout just to get his team a rest. USF trying to retake the lead with a 15-play drive here against Miami. And Miami called basically, Lewis, a fatigue timeout. Something you said you know a little bit about playing in this stadium.
Exactly. It was all sombrero down here in 1992 against the great Steve DeBerg, who was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the preseason. They were going so fast. My defensive backfield, the linebackers, everyone screaming at me to get the calls out. I could not talk. The mouthpiece was in my mouth. I had dry mouth, Bob. I was like, that was the last game I ever wore a mouthpiece. I thought I was going to swallow the dang thing. It is a test of your will when an offense is running you all over the place, laterally and vertically, like South Florida is doing tonight. It will test your love for football.
After the timeout, Brown, pump fake. Escapes the sack for the moment. Somehow staying on his feet. What an effort.
Are you kidding me?
Just to get back to the line of scrimmage. He had to fight out of the arms of at least 2 Canes. Jaden Harris got there first and just could not get Byram Brown down.
This is where that extra muscle and mass has come into play. Just look at it. 1.
Official's timeout for an injured player.
2, 3, 4. Just taking shots, continuing to move forward.
And now Byram Brown is down, and his helmet's off as well. So that is going to get Bryce Archie up and warming up. The backup quarterback. With 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. And USF down by 2 in a goal-to-go situation. The training staff right now surrounding the quarterback. A nervous moment here for USF.
The previous play is under further review to determine if the quarterback's knee was down.
So now they're going to go to replay to see if earlier in that run Brown may have been down for a sack behind the line of scrimmage. And it is good to see him up and running over to the sideline on his own. So hopefully, for USF's sake and for Brown's sake, he only misses one play.
Bob, you talked about how I enjoy talking to Alex Golesh. I think we all enjoy talking to Byron Brown. What a magnetic personality. Someone who the other players describe as having the perfect process. He's just the perfect teammate. He does everything right. You see right here, there's the knee. Down at about the plus 14-yard line.
Yeah, it certainly, from that look, seems pretty clear cut. That the ball, you're right, is probably just across the 15-yard line. His knee right about on the 15-yard line and down. So that'll be a sack. And that will be Jaden Harris credited for the sack. As it turns out, he did get Byron Brown down, but that was some effort by the USF quarterback. So this is going to be 2nd down and goal from back near the 15-yard line with your backup quarterback in the game.
Yeah, hopefully Byron's okay and they can get him back in the game here quickly because of what he brings to the table as far as being a dual threat. We already saw, actually, he's a triple threat. He's a receiver, he's a runner, and a passer, apparently, based off of the touchdown he scored in the first quarter.
He looks fine. He's already over there, it looks like, providing some counsel for Bryce Archie with this play call. We talk about the $1 million smile. He literally has it.
The quarterback's knee was down when the ball was at the 14.5-yard line. It will be 2nd down at that spot.
You could see the smile of Byron Brown. He said well after his football career is over, he aspires to be an orthodontist. He has a 7-step program that he follows every day just to brush his teeth.
Hey, as a guy who goes through a lot of mouthwash myself, I spent a lot of time in the dental hygiene section of CVS. This guy, I mean, it's perfect. I mean, his teeth are perfect.
When he smiles, you can see the investment is paying off.
And he was excited telling us about it. And you can see it right there on your screen. What a great personality. 19 years old. Going to turn 20 September 29th.
He's a terrific young man.
Unbelievable. They love him here.
All right, so now Bryce Archie, give me a game management call here to then maybe get Byron Brown back in to still have a chance to score a touchdown.
Either a quick pass, a quick wide receiver screen, or hand it off.
They'll give it to Wright. He's going to try and bounce it, and he'll pick up no more than a yard. Francis Maui-Noah. Kiko was there to make the stop. And here comes Brown. That's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 14-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go before halftime.
See, now is where you want to spread them out, see if you can get them in some one-on-one situations, get a little rub route situation, free somebody up. But you got to take care of the quarterback as well, because his legs will burn you.
He's going to get sacked again, and it will be a field goal attempt to cap this drive for USF to try and take the lead. Simeon Barrow is able to get the takedown. It's a loss of 8.
You see them just running a little tackle stunt inside between Barrow and Mesidor. They just twisted inside over the center and the guards, and he comes free. But Simeon Barrow, another one of those transfers that is just paying dividends on the defensive line for Miami.
And now John Cannon is on to attempt a 40-yard. So we're rotating kickers here, and now we've got flags thrown before the field goal attempt.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
That's going to back USF up. So when it's outside 50 yards, Gramatica with the longer and stronger leg. But they go back to John Cannon when it is a field goal of a little bit shorter range, and now 45 yards. Cannon gets another try.
Just sit in there, hold your water, as coaches like to say. No pre-snap penalties.
A line drive from Cannon is through. So Grammatica 2 for 2. Cannon now 1 for 1. And USF has the lead. 2.5 minutes to go in the half. And that is a 19-play field goal drive to put them on top by 1. Now next Saturday on ABC and ESPN Plus at 7:30 Eastern. The game of the year so far this year, number 2 against number 4. Georgia, Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And we will have it for you beginning at 7:30 Eastern. And Lewis, there's so many different angles to look at this game from. But one that you thought was eye-opening? Now, these two teams have been both kind of going back and forth with national championships. But head-to-head, if you go back to 2017, Alabama's dominated the series.
It's unbelievable. Coach Nick Saban, who I've had the pleasure of playing for in my days with the Browns, I mean, the guy is the master. I mean, just look at that. Look at those heavyweight battles that he has had with Georgia. And Kirby Smart has built an absolute monster now as well. But this really just speaks to the greatness of the Alabama Crimson Tide program under the leadership of Nick Saban. I mean, that right there, just graphically, you don't have to say a word. Just look at it.
Ty Ippolito draws the kickoff duty here. And Jordan Lyle up the sideline, flag down.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 29. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So this will back up Miami. But Cam Ward back on the field for the first time in a long time.
But again, the betting favorite to win the Heisman. You see here these long distance third downs. And you see how, again, just using his eyes to manipulate defenders and those speed dig routes, hitting them on the run. He has just been on the money. And then there, the slant to Isaiah Horton down on the goal line, using his size to his advantage.
First charge timeout, South Florida, 30 seconds.
So USF's going to call a timeout defensively here before Miami runs their 2-minute offense. Let's check in with Matt Barry while we have a chance. That historic Florida State-Cal ACC rivalry, to Matt Barry's point. But as tired as the defense was for Miami, their offense is well rested for this 2-minute drill. They were over on the sideline for a long time. They'll run it here with Martinez. Blockers out in front. He gets tripped up.
If you're in South Florida right now, you're figuring, look, if we can just get out of here, maybe we can get another possession out of this. We're going to get the ball at the beginning of the second half. We're going in, hopefully, with a 1-point lead. You couldn't ask for anything better. Just keep it back to front. Don't let them throw the football over your head. Don't give them a cheap one here at the end of the first.
Shut down the sideline. Sam Brown. Touchdown, Miami. A house call right before the 2-minute timeout.
All they're doing is playing cover 2. But watch, here's the critical error. You cannot allow an outside release to the #1 wide receiver. Otherwise, the safety can't get there. He doesn't get enough depth. He's stretched horizontally. He doesn't have the angle. That's just poor execution on the part of South Florida. When you play cover 2, you have to help your corner out. You have to get a jam on #1, because if he gets up the sideline too quickly, the safety will never get there, especially if he is not deep enough at the snap and he isn't driving for depth. That's this basic day 1 cover 2 install. And I just said, right before the play snap, don't get the ball thrown over your head. We could go into with the half with the lead. We get the ball coming out. And that's exactly what happened.
And Miami 1 for 1 on 2-point conversions this season. is going to try to make a 5-point lead, a 7-point lead, but Mario Cristobal not happy apparently with the play call they've got on. Flag thrown in the end zone. Actually, the play clock was winding
Before the
down.
clock expired, Miami's called their second time out of the half. 30 seconds.
So it took them a little too long to get the 2-point play called and lined up. And so it looks like we're going to take the 2-minute timeout break before the 2-point conversion off of Miami's timeout. Alex Golish's team with a long field goal march. Mario Cristobal's team, like lightning, comes back with their longest play from scrimmage this season. The longest play by Cam Ward in his FBS career, a 76-yard touchdown strike. Sam Brown's first score of the year. And now they'll go for 2 to try and stretch the lead to 7. Bob Wischusen here with Lewis Riddick and Chris Button. Restrepo in motion. Ward dumps one off. Hurdling in is Martinez for the 2. And Miami's got the 7-point lead with 1:56 to go before halftime. Well, Lewis, someone down there on that sideline needed to hear you say, don't let the ball go over your head.
You're right. I mean, we know that coverage in terms of zone coverage is all about getting the proper reroutes, playing with leverage, corners and safeties working together. You see right there, it was just an epic fail. And when you're talking about Cam Ward, you can't make these kind of mistakes. You can't afford to not get a jam in reroute number 1. You can't afford to take a bad angle because Sam Brown Jr., Restrepo, Jacoby George, these guys are all on the Biletnikoff watch list. There's a reason why. And the guy who's delivering it to him, look at that throw. It's just on a rope. He will make you pay. You don't have a margin for error. And then the 2-point play again. In total control at all times in terms of his field vision, never looks panicked in the pocket. He's found outlets numerous times in this game in critical situations. Cam Ward is the real deal, folks. He is the real deal.
Let's go back to Matt. See a lot of orange in the stands here as well. Lots of Canes fans have made their way over. It's a great crowd for this game. And there's Atkins trying to respond now for USF. A flag thrown from the secondary after Brown and Atkins hook up for 13. And it looks like it's going to be offensive pass interference.
Pass interference, offense, number 38. After this is to the goal. First down.
I don't think they meant it was on Sean Atkins. He was the one who caught the ball and was running the route. Yeah.
Unless he pushed off, but
I think
he was protesting.
About Yassine.
Oh, there's Atkins again. Out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So he got basically the penalty yardage back. It'll be second down and long. Again, USF still with 2 timeouts. 5-man rush. Popped up in the air, carries around, and it falls incomplete. Teron Keith, the intended receiver.
It was almost disaster for Byron Brown in South Florida.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
Kiko Mauinoa was right there in position to possibly pick it off. That's Derek Bowman, the right tackle, who was down and hurt for the Bulls.
You see Teron Keith tipping the ball up in the air. That's not what you want to do. It's not down there in your own territory, deep in your own territory, right before the half. Just knock that thing down. Get back to the huddle.
So while the trainers take a look at Derek Bowman, that's a concerning injury. One of the tackles for USF. A reminder that NFL Countdown comes your way at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN tomorrow. Alex Smith sits down with Kirk Cousins before he leads the Falcons against the Chiefs. And then Louis Riddick will be part of a Monday Night Football doubleheader. Special start time of 7:15 Eastern. Jags Bills on ESPN and ESPN Deportes, and the Commanders and Bengals at 8 Eastern on ABC and ESPN Plus. So we got a couple of games coming your way, ESPN and ABC on Monday night. Jaguars a very interesting team right up the road. We're here in Tampa, but not too far away. That's going to be a tall task against the Buffalo Bills, but they need Trevor Lawrence. They need that team to get it going.
Yeah, they need to find their identity. That's really what they're missing, Bob. They have not been able to string together like consecutive performances where they know what they can go to when they need it the most, both in terms of scheme, strategies, tactics, and who are their go-to guys. Buffalo, on the other hand, they know exactly who they are. And right now it starts with number 17, and he's not even the main player right now. This running game for Buffalo right now is chewing people up, and it has made them dangerous. I cannot wait to get up there and watch them go at it.
Now the Bulls down an offensive lineman and faced with 3rd down and 11 at their own 24-yard line. Now Miami still has a timeout as well, and there's still 1:36 on the clock. Flag down. This could be a false start against USF.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And they can't, Lewis, just run the ball here. Take, 45 seconds or so off the clock, punt, and try to get to the locker room. Miami still has a timeout that they can call to get the ball back to their offense again before halftime.
Yeah, and based on the way Miami has been attacking through the air and how hot Cam is, that's exactly, you're right, what they do not want.
So Brown sets up a screen. Keith gets a block, finds a crease. Teron Keith in the open. One man to beat with a stiff arm. He's in the red zone before he's knocked out. Miami somehow blew a coverage on a simple screen, and Teron Keith takes advantage.
And executed beautifully. Look at Teron Keith. Look at all the green jerseys out there, and then nothing but green grass.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
An absolutely exquisite call on the part of Alex Golich and offensive coordinator Joel Gordon. Just executed to perfection. Kiko Malinoa was sitting there going, hey, look, somebody gonna come help me? One-on-one against 2 blockers. Teron Keith.
That's Tyler Barron down. They've got a couple of players down after that play. Tyler Barron tied for #1 in America in tackles for loss, #2 in America in sacks coming into tonight. He's injured on this play. And Simeon Barrow Jr. slow to get up as well. So that's 2 starters for Miami on their defensive line. Injured on that 60-plus yard catch and run screen for Teron Keith.
Bob, but you know what, you see what's happening. You can see Tyler Barron at the end of that play. He just kind of dropped to the ground and grabbed his right hamstring. Cramps starting to come into play. What did Alex Golich tell us? We want to run this team up and down the field, especially this defensive line. We want to wear them out. We want to wear them out. Go fast, make them cover a lot of ground. And you see what happens when defensive linemen are having to chase screens 50, 60, 70 yards down the field. They pull up with cramps. This is something to watch as this game goes on. If you're Alex Golich looking right there, you're going, exactly what I was talking about.
We knew the 2 quarterbacks were going to put on a show tonight. They have not disappointed.
The game clock will start on the south.
They sure haven't, man. I mean, these kids are lighting it up. Cam Ward, I mean, he's as advertised. I mean, what more can you say? Nothing he does surprises you right now. Byron Brown just showing you he's a kid who's on the rise. Phenomenal talent, phenomenal leader, wants to improve as a passer. He's already a stud running the football. And they felt that they could stay in this football game. They felt that they could win it. And here they are, knocking on the door again.
Play action. And incomplete. It looked like Brown may have wanted a wheel route to Sean Atkins. He got caught up along the sideline. Michael Brown-Stevens may have been the closest receiver in the area. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Boy, how did things change after the 64-yard screen from Miami? Maybe thinking we're going to call a timeout and get the ball back, to now managing the clock for USF. They still have 2 timeouts and a ton of time on the clock as well.
I mean, if you're Alex Golis there on your screen, you want to come away with a touchdown here. You got to dial up the right play. How can we get our best playmakers one-on-one in space?
Tunnel screen. Atkins gets to the 10-yard line. He's down to the 9, 2 yards shy of a 1st down. He picks up 8. The freshman Justin Scott brought him down.
USF lucky they didn't get called for blocking the back.
And it looks like the final timeout of the 1st half will be called by Miami on defense.
3rd and final timeout of the half. Miami. This is a 4-minute timeout. 1 minute and 3 seconds. 1:03.
You just saw a flash there on your screen of the Miami coaches on the sideline. That guy with the sweat coming off the back of his head, that's the great Jason Taylor, the former Miami Dolphins great pass rusher, in charge of coaching these defensive linemen, these defensive ends. And they know right now they are in a battle. That heat is starting to take its toll. The pace is starting to take its toll. This is going to be a 60-minute fight. You see Coach Cristobal right there as well, one of the great Miami Hurricanes, who was back in my day, who I played against in the late 80s, early 90s. And this program has nothing but history, Bob. Nothing but history, trying to reestablish their footing. And right now they're up against the South Florida team that is feeling like, hey, we went toe-to-toe with Bama. We lost it late. And now we're going toe-to-toe with the top 10 team in the country again.
Well, every program has the old players that come back as kind of guest speakers. Every guy that comes back to be a guest speaker for Miami is a former Pro Bowler, a guy that might have a gold jacket in his closet, a guy with a Super Bowl ring. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Former 1st-round pick. All right, 3rd down and 2 after the timeout. Atkins got 90 yards receiving. They run the option here to Keith. And this time it is diagnosed beautifully. Jaden Harris comes through to make the stop. Now it's 4th down.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it as a support safety. Now here you got 4th down.
It's 4th and 6. Now Miami's out of timeouts. So it looks like USF, if they want to play for the field goal,
I think he's just going to let the clock wind down.
They'll let the clock wind down. Alex Golis, you can see right at the bottom of your screen, standing next to one of the officials. He's going to let this play clock get all the way down as far as it can possibly go and then call a timeout. So able to take the game clock down to 19 seconds to go.
Timeout of the half. Please reset the game clock to 20 seconds. 20, 30 seconds.
Having said that, though,
interesting situation. Huh?
This is going to be, assuming the field goal group goes out there, the 4th field goal that USF is going to have to settle for here in the 1st half.
Yeah, and you see them already huddled up here on the numbers at about the 24-yard line. And you're right, these missed red zone opportunities as far as getting 6 and having to settle for 3s, with the way Cam Ward's throwing the football, that's just not what you want. But give them credit. Now they're going to get the ball coming out here in the 2nd half. See if they can go ahead and tackle on 3. Make this a 4-point ball game. But man, give South Florida credit for the way they have battled right now with a top 10 team in the country. I mean, there are no moral victories. We get that. And Alex Golis will be the first one to tell you, nah, that's not what we're looking for around here. Man, this has been a great football game.
31 yards out. And Cannon misses wide right. A bitter pill for USF and a little celebration for Miami. And another injury for USF.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
As one of the offensive linemen out there to block on field goal protection is down. So a lot of injury timeouts here in the first half with the heat, the humidity, and the intensity of this game, as the trainers have been very busy here in the first half. But this, for John Cannon, a very costly miss.
And the special teams unit has been money. The field goal unit has been money all night long. If I know Alex Golesh, and we just met him just a day ago, this guy will tell his football team, do you see how we're playing? You see the opportunities that we've missed? We had pushed the number 8 team in the country to the brink here in the first half. We just got to hang on and continue to make plays and make that first drive of the second half count.
Well, this is a guy that took over a program that had won 4 games in the 3 years before he took over. Last season, not only a 7-6 record, but a 45-0 win in their bowl game over Syracuse to cap a 7-6 season. And they went toe-to-toe with Alabama for 3.5 quarters in week 2. And now they're going toe-to-toe with Miami for the first half tonight. So he has this program in a completely different place than it was when he took over.
Yeah, and he has said, look, the conversation around here has changed. It's no longer just about hope. Expectations are on the rise here. New stadium coming. They have been very good as far as getting some impact players in the transfer portal. They have a quarterback that they're trying to develop. He is a guy who emphasizes the relationships. I'm telling you, I would have loved to have played for a coach like this. He takes a personal interest in all of his players, the way he talks to his team. The players are locked in. I mean, it's just cool to watch. It's cool to watch, and this program is going to be just fine as long as he is here.
That was backup tackle Nikola Milovic, who was being helped off the field. USF starts the third quarter with the ball, but they will start down a touchdown and thinking about all the offensive opportunities they had to score a heck of a lot more than 15 points in the first half. Miami will have a touchdown lead at the break. This game, Lewis, has an NFL feel to it, right? Red zone defense.
Yep.
And if you're Miami, you're doing a good job defensively, forcing the opposition, even if you're giving up yards, to kick 3s instead of 7s.
Yeah, we're just going to see how this weather and this pace affects Miami in the second half. Coach Golesh said it was going to be a big part of his tactics. It looks like it's starting to pay off.
Could be a very interesting second half. Back to Matt. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Just about set for the start of the third quarter. 22-15, Miami has the lead on USF. USF has the ball to start the second half. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick. Chris Budden is with us as well. And kind of that NFL field position game, the explosive nature of the Miami offense, a big factor in the first half, but their red zone defense, when the field condensed, they were able to hold down USF to field goals. Take a look at our playbook, brought to you by Modelo.
And the Miami passing attack has just been on it all night long, being able to manipulate coverages, find open throwing windows against zone, and then exploit it. And here you just see just a bad discipline on the part of USF in terms of their cover 2 scheme, and Miami is able to hit the hole shot right in between the corner and the safety who didn't get enough depth. And that's what's going to lead to the kind of explosives that will break a game wide open if you allow too many of those. And there you see it on your screen, 5 pass plays of 15+ yards tonight. They're one of the best. They're the best in FBS in producing plus 20-yard plays coming into this game, and they have given you no indication that that's going to let up.
And a frustrating first half, Lewis, offensively for USF, to only have 15 points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's the red zone opportunities that they have just got to cash in on. They've been able to come up with a game plan, go with a lot of tempo that has clearly had an effect on Miami's defense. I know Miami's defense, this team works in the same humidity. I know they're from South Florida, but tempo is the equalizer. Fatigue is the equalizer, not weather, fatigue. And that's what South Florida is banking on by using the tempo they do.
Let's check in with Chris.
Well, in terms of that tempo, Mario Cristobal thought that the challenge with that at the beginning of the first half, thought his team adapted to it more in the second half. On offense, though, had to be able to complete third downs and need to be able to limit the penalties. Alex Golesh said that's the million-dollar question. How do we finish drives? We have to be able to run the football better. The message was the same at the beginning of the game. Miami has not faced this kind of adversity. We have. Let's test them early.
They set up a little pick play out on the edge to Atkins. They'll start the second half with a chunk play. Well executed. Deani Hill brings down Atkins, but he picks up 23 yards. So a good start to the third quarter for USF. 113 yards receiving already for Sean Atkins. And now flags down on this snap. So penalties continue to be a problem for both teams.
False start. The entire line except the center. Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now, Lewis, we are 20 seconds into the second half, and that is already the 17th accepted penalty in this game.
That is frustrating for coaches more than anything. You come out, you get an explosive, and now a pre-snap penalty simply because everyone's not on the same page with the snap count.
Quarterback draw. And a 1-yard gain. Iko Mauinoa brings down Byron Brown.
That has been the challenge for the Miami defense and defensive coordinator Lance Guidry. Could they keep this running quarterback in check the way they spread you out and try and run the football?
Brown well protected. Diving attempt made by Hardiman, but he can't haul it in. Check that Brown Stevens, and instead it's going to be third down at 14.
You see how the penalty just affected everything. You come out, you get the big play, and now you're just behind the sticks with third and forever. It's just amazing how one lapse in judgment changes the whole tenor of your drive in which you would establish coming right out of the gate.
Bring a blitz. They try to throw the screen behind it to Joyner. And he gets wrestled down by Barrow. Right at the line of scrimmage. So this will be a punt after the chunk play to begin the drive to open the third quarter for USF.
That is excellent recognition on the part of Simeon Barrow to recognize the screen.
Miami number 5 is reporting as number 35.
Had Simeon Barrow not got on his horse and ran that thing down, that was about to break open for a big play.
So Ray Joseph is back deep to receive, changing his number, a line drive kick. And he's going to let it bounce, and it goes into the end zone. So the 30-year-old Australian rules kicker Andrew Stokes can't kill it deep. So it'll come out to the 20-yard line for Cam Ward.
I mean, look at this. 223 yards already tonight. He has just had his way with the deep passing game. I mean, why is he the betting favorite for the Heisman Trophy? This is why. This is why right here. And he has shown everything that he has in his arsenal and in his bag so far tonight. Pocket presence, accuracy, composure, deep ball accuracy. He has it all. And if you can't touch him and you can't get him off his spot, you can't make him play with some kind of confusion and hesitation, he's going to keep putting up those numbers.
He's got Mark Fletcher Jr. to his left. Out of the pocket. Ward on the move. A pump fake and a run. And glides out of bounds with a gain of 8. Shannon Dawson, offensive coordinator, told us that it was very early and evident that his football IQ was just on a different level. I thought it was a funny story. He said when he was at Washington State, his bugaboo was fumbles. He caught the ball up too much. I went back and looked at the tape to try and pick up a pattern. The pattern he picked up was funny.
Yeah, but the pattern was that he was fumbling shotgun snaps. Why? Because he would take his eyes off the snap because he was trying to pick up a last-second cue of what was happening downfield. So a lot of it was self-inflicted, didn't even involve the defense.
So Fletcher picks up the first down here, but just his brain kept processing things so much that it was almost too much processing.
See, that's a lesson also. And when you're looking at box score stats and you don't add, the context to it, you can really get the picture wrong on players if you don't go back and study it. And I thought that was a great story because that was something that people said repeatedly about Cam. He's not good with the ball in the pocket. He doesn't protect it. Well, Miami did their homework. They had no issues with it.
One-on-one. And reaching back, Jacoby George couldn't haul it in as we go down to Chris.
Bob, one of the things that Mario Cristobal loved about Cam Ward was his ability to just call people out. He loved his attitude, his demeanor. So it was rather upsetting when Ward called and said, hey, coach, I think I'm going to go to the NFL. Cristobal had said, I thought we had gotten to the altar and I felt like I was left. And then a couple weeks later, he calls him at 7 o'clock in the morning and says, coach, I'm going to come. He goes, you better not change your mind. I'm putting out a press release so you can't.
That was a great story when he told it.
Blitz off the edge on second down. It's picked up. Wide open. It's Horton makes a man miss to midfield. 17 more yards. Brown Bunkley missed the tackle.
That's one of the things that defensive coordinator Todd Orlando said you just can't do against this team. When they catch it, you have to tackle them. And here, if you're Amaris Brown Bunkley, you have to get him on the ground. You have to come to balance, keep your head up, don't dive at him, run your feet on contact, and get him on the ground. These guys are too dangerous with running after the catch. Got to find a way to finish the play.
Terrific protection. Restrepo, though, can't haul that one in.
That's an uncharacteristic miss on the part of Cam Ward. He had Restrepo. He had a step on that deep crosser.
Timeout for an injured player. Full timeout on the field.
And now Jamie Petway is hurt for USF. It is an almost impossible legacy to try to be compared to or live up to, right? 2004 to the present, 21 seasons compared to 1983, Lewis to 2003. And look at the numbers that the Hurricanes from 83 through 2003 put up. 5 national championships, a couple of Heisman winners, 40 first-round draft choices.
It's just unbelievable. Coach Cristobal was a part of a lot of that.
Middle screen to Elijah Arroyo. He's got a first down. Paid the price as Bayard cut him down at the 40-yard line. But we talked about this at the start. It certainly seems to be proving itself true. This group of Canes, again, not fair to compare in the least, but this might be as talented a group as we've seen since.
Yeah, depending upon what recruiting service and ranking service you believe. But 23 and 24, those two recruiting classes are the best in Miami history. Now think about what that might mean, considering some of the players that they've had go through here, some of the recruiting classes in their history that they have put together. That's a big, big statement, a big ranking.
To A.J. Allen. He gets hammered out of bounds, but gets another first down. He's got 16 yards. DeMarco Augustin came up to make the stop.
That is big time, and this is all these running backs. And A.J. Allen, another one that Miami has. And you just watch here, Augustin. I mean, that is a big-time collision. You're just glad both players get up after this, because this right here, man. I can just tell you, if you're down field level and you see that kind of hit.
And Augustin made it halfway across the field and then went down. So that hit did shake him up. It's Extra Yard for Teachers Week, and USF's head coach Alex Golesh here on a special teacher that impacted his life.
One that sticks out would be a guy that actually works with us now. Was my high school offensive coordinator and was also a science teacher. Taught me so many things, but the biggest thing being that you get more gratification from giving more of yourself than anything you can ever take from a group.
ESPN supports the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers Week each year to celebrate great teachers across the country who have inspired so many of us. Nominate a great teacher in your community by visiting cfpfoundation.org. It's a great story how Alex Golesh brought Jeff Jones here to become a part of this program, Chris Budden, and he's now a huge part of this program.
He is, and he played a huge role in Golesh's life. He would pick him up in high school, bring him to school every day. They talk about everything from football to life. And when Golesh got the job here at USF, that was one of his first phone calls. He said, Coach, I need you to join me here. I need you to do for these kids what you did for me. And it's director of player development, and it is everything. One example, they had an offensive lineman from Serbia. He taught him how to drive. Just one of the many ways that he's had a huge influence on this USF program, as long as Alex Golesh as well.
A.J. Allen in the flat again, or check that, Riley Williams gets bumped out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. So it is a terrific story, and just one of those untold stories sometimes of a guy that has an impact on so many lives of these young men. And there's DeMarco Augustin head into the tent after he laid that big hit on A.J. Allen a couple of plays ago. Allen stays in the game as the lone setback on 3rd down and 2. Breaks a tackle, dodges another. Very close to the first down. It looks like without measurement, they will say he got there.
Decided to get to the plus 14. It's a great job of making defenders miss in the backfield. Just think about the backs that Miami has at their disposal. Mark Fletcher and Damian Martinez, the hammers. Chris Johnson Jr., the speed. A.J. Allen, just look at that cut. Putting that foot in the ground and just making defenders miss. The unblocked look. How do you make positive yards? That's the mark of a very good back. Miami has got 4 of them, 5 of them on their roster.
A blitz, a fade route. Back of the end zone, the flag's down. Isaiah Horton laid out, almost made a terrific touchdown catch. Deshaun Rucker, though, was there in coverage. Tavin Ward as well. flag thrown in the end zone.
Before the pass, holding defense number 22. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
That's Rucker, the Tennessee transfer, who knew Alex Golesh from his time on the Tennessee staff.
See, just bring him in short motion, and Rucker kind of gets disoriented as far as what leverage he wanted to play with. And with the way that Isaiah Horton has been releasing off the ball, he's been giving all of the defensive backs for South Florida fits. Deshaun Rucker, look, his film has been fantastic this year. This has been a game where he has really been up against it, and this just speaks to the quality of Miami's wide receiver core. It's as good as anybody in the nation.
On a keeper, it's Ward. At the goal line, spins, and he's down at the 1. Tavin Ward dragged him down just shy of the end zone. It's a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and goal.
You see Cam Ward just riding that football in there, sees the end crash down, thinks, man, maybe I can get here to the perimeter. Tries to ride the body of Tavin Ward into the end zone. Cam has many aspects to his game. That is not going to be one that wows you the most when he gets out on the perimeter as far as a runner, but he doesn't really need it because he's so electric with his arm.
Alex Golesh races down to call timeout for USF.
First time out of the half, South Florida, 30 seconds.
And he is screaming at one of his players, and that is Michael Williams that's getting an earful. I wonder if they had 10 on the field. That might be the reason for the timeout.
See, those are the kind of things right there. This drive coaches up a wall. Substitution errors, just really lack of concentration, making sure that you know what packages you're in on, especially against a team like Miami, that you're right here in the thick of it with them as they're driving for a touchdown. You just can't afford those.
Tomorrow on Sunday Night Baseball matchup, we've got Phillies, Mets, 7 Eastern, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN2 with Baseball Tonight. Sunday Night Countdown. Now, we're being told they had 11 on the field. I guess that was my bad guess. Normally, you call a timeout, turn around and yell at someone on the sideline. Figure that guy's supposed to be out there.
But just, you know, just fluid substitutions are something that coaches think should be something that you never have to really worry about. It's just a matter of concentration. Now you got this big offensive line from Miami. They're about to put their feet in the ground.
They'll hand it to Martinez, and he's into the end zone easily. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Canes extend their lead.
Miami, the right side of Miami's offensive line just absolutely just caves down the South Florida defense. Francis Mauigoa, to do it all, right tackle. The Mario Cristobal just loves in terms of his development and his future as a Miami Hurricane and then as an NFL prospect. He was just at the point of attack, and they just cleared a path.
And Coach Cristobal told us when they got CC Mauigoa as a right tackle, it was almost like Penei Sewell at Oregon, right? Just kind of one of those recruits that changed things, paves the way for Damian Martinez here.
Yeah, I mean, Damian Martinez is 232 pounds running behind this offensive line. The run game is as explosive as the pass game. You just haven't seen it too often, but it's there.
Well, the new 12-team college football playoff begins December 20th. And yes, indeed, it is going to be a new era of college football and a lot of fun as we will be bringing that to you. Home campuses for the first round of the college football playoff.
Can you imagine what some of these schools are going to be like?
It is going to be some kind of an atmosphere.
College pageantry.
And even, Lewis, some of the die-hardest of the diehards of college football don't know yet or haven't really ingrained in their brain what the format is. So the 5 highest-ranked conference champions receive automatic bids. The 4 highest conference champions in terms of ranked, they're going to get first-round buys, those seeded 1 through 4. The 7 remaining at-large teams And again, there are going to be teams determined by the committee that are going to make the field. Seeds 5 through 8 will host first-round games. And we will play all the way through to the College Football Playoff National Championship game. As Byron Brown goes to work, he's going to take a shot down the sideline, and that's going to sail out of bounds, intended for Michael Brown-Stevens. But if you are South Florida and you are able to come from behind and get a win in a game like this one tonight, that is a huge resume builder as Byron Brown escapes the pocket and throws it away, because you're going to begin conference play. You're going to try and win the American Conference, and your goal is not just to win your league, but at the end of the year be the highest ranked league winner of that group of 5 or group of 6. It's not a kind of quote-unquote power league, and you're going to get an automatic bid to the College Football Playoff as a result.
Yeah, I love the emphasis on resume. Quality of opponents, quality of wins, where they came, how they came. I think that is a huge factor in this college football season, and something I welcome.
Miami shows blitz. 3rd down and 10. Perfectly timed out pattern. Michael Brown-Stevens, first down.
That's
well thrown by Brown.
That's the guy we were talking about off camera that they have to get the ball to. He is the speed merchant for them. They need chunks now. They have got to start picking up plays in plus 10, 15, 20-yard increments. And Michael Brown-Stevens is the one who can do that. They have got to get him freed up.
Quarterback draw. A 6-yard run for Byron Brown. Another injured player. It is Akeem Mesidor now for Miami.
Officials timeout for an injury.
Boy, unfortunately, some of the busiest folks for each sideline tonight have been the training staffs. They have been on and off the field non-stop in this game, as the combination of the intensity of this game and also the humidity and how long this game has taken to be played, I think, is wearing these players out.
You see them checking the knee, the left knee there of Mesidor.
But some important dates to remind you of as far as the College Football Playoff is concerned as well. The first round games, again, played on home campuses, December 20th and 21st. Then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, the quarterfinal matchups. And then the semifinals and championship game, the 9th and 10th, and January 20th. So when the first College Football Playoff rankings start to come out, it's going to be a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we start talking about bubble teams for the NCAA tournament, right? You're starting now, instead of worrying about who the top 4 or 5 are, you're looking way down into the teams to see who might make it, because it is a 12-team playoff this year.
You want those first-round buys. You want those home playoff games of your seeds 5 through 8. Those schools, you're right, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a big-time school, a big P5 school, or not. A home playoff game for the first time, I cannot wait.
And you have to figure, again, if the College Football Playoff were to begin tomorrow, Naquan Wright lowers his shoulders and gets driven back after a gain of a couple, little extra that the crowd reacts to. Rule Aguirre was there to make the stop. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
I think what the fans are getting upset about is that attempt by Maui Noah trying to punch the ball out. They weren't too happy with it.
Brown reaching for the ball was Atkins, hoping for a flag. There it is, thrown from deep in the secondary. And it looks like that will give, via penalty, USF a first down. Darrell Porter Jr. dragged down Atkins.
Pass interference. Defense, number 2. The penalty results in an automatic first down.
Now that you're in plus territory, you've got a fresh set of downs. I said you've got to look for chunks as you see the penalty here. And you can see again, you can see what kind of route runner Sean Atkins is. And really, he held him at the break point. He put his hand around him. He knew that he had committed the penalty. He thought he got away with it. But now, your speed merchant, Michael Brown-Stephens, been running these comebacks, running these go routes. How about a stutter? How about a double move out here one-on-one and see if you can get a big one over the top.
19 accepted penalties between the two teams. And still 5:45 to go, third quarter. Play action. Brown down the sideline. Brown-Stephens up against the sideline as it sails out behind him.
That's exactly what he ran. He ran a stutter go. He tried to get on top. He just couldn't get the separation. You can see it here. Watch. Release, stutter, take off again. But you can see the corner step for step. Plays it perfect. That's a lot of confidence that they have in the Miami corners to handle this wide receiver core one-on-one.
Jadis Richard gave him nowhere to go. Nice little shovel pass to Naquan Wright. But he's only able to manage a couple of yards. So now it's another third down here for USF. Third down and 9 at the Miami 41.
Just got to get it to your playmakers. Miami knows who they're going to try and get the ball to. You got to take care of 38 Sean Atkins first. At the top of your screen in the slot. You got to make sure it doesn't go to him. He did break USF records a year ago for receiving. Make sure you take care of it.
Mario Cristobal, though, calls a timeout from the sideline for Miami on defense.
First time out of the half. Miami, 30 seconds.
I was saying before that if the college football playoff were to begin this morning and you were looking at who would be that group of 5 team coming into today, it would have been Northern Illinois, probably off that win over Notre Dame. They've already lost today to Buffalo. So how many different ways could this thing shift as we move through the season? How many different momentum swings and resume building wins or
that's why it's just
resume destroying losses will there be for teams?
Every team, I mean, you just can never give up. It's a long season. That's why all these teams want to be ranked as highly as possible, get that first round bye. I mean, these guys are essentially playing a pro type of schedule now.
Right.
So they got to kind of start thinking about it that way in terms of roster preservation, keeping their players healthy. But for the fans, I mean, you're in it. You lose a game, it's not over. You're still in the fight. You got to continue to try and build that resume that you're talking about and get those quality wins.
And college football used to be, by the time you got a second loss on your schedule,
you're done.
99% of the time, kiss your season goodbye. Right. You will still potentially, and certainly the big power leagues, have 2 lost teams playing extremely important regular season games all the way through November and into early December possibly. Third down, quarterback draw for Byron Brown. You got to think that's setting up a 4th down call here.
Yeah. And just trying to make it 4th and manageable. Now again, see, this is the chess match that I love. This is the part where when you're at home and you're watching the game and you're trying to figure out what will South Florida do. Who are they going to go to? And if you're Miami, who do you want to make sure you take away again? It starts with 38 Sean Atkins. You see that stack set up at the top of the wide receivers bunched together. You got to make sure you don't get picked off. They're going to run some kind of 3-man combination.
Brown breaks a tackle, breaks contain, flag down. He slides to the 22-yard line for a first down, but a flag thrown back in the offensive backfield. Holding against USF.
Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And now what do you do? 4th and 5 now becomes 4th and 15. Now if you're South Florida, you probably have to punt.
You see it right here, right in the middle of your screen. He's just going to hold him at the end of the play. See there, he's just pass protecting, sliding your feet, and just as he starts to disengage, he just grabs him and pulls him to the ground. It's just a costly penalty.
Number 5 is reporting as number 35.
You had a chance now in 4th and manageable to really kind of maybe, pick up a first, continue this momentum. The same thing that happened the first drive coming out in the second half.
Stokes down inside the 5-yard line, and they're unable able to keep it out of the end zone. Jaquan Smith that close to a terrific special teams play inside the 5, but instead it's a touchback as we take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Well, Arch Manning leading Texas against Louisiana Monroe as we speak. Missouri got an overtime win against Vanderbilt. Ole Miss comfortably in front of Georgia Southern, and Tennessee right now comfortably in front of OU.
Bob, the team to watch out for is that team in the 5 spot, Ole Miss. That's the team. Been saying it all off season. Got to see them at the end of last year in the Peach Bowl against Penn State. What Lane Kiffin's got going on down there is something to keep an eye on.
Restrepo with a flag down. Did he get a foot down? Did he push off?
Pass interference, defense, number 13. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
So Restrepo made the catch, got a foot down, fought through a penalty, and picks up 16.
You're going to see here on this back shoulder. Can't quite see it there at the end of the play. But Restrepo, just the way he contorts his body, his ability to always get himself in position. He's got great hands. They just love the competitiveness of Xavier Restrepo. Just shows up play after play, whether he's getting targets or not. He plays the same way every snap.
Martinez bottled up along the sideline. Well, Xavier Restrepo is a top 10 receiver in terms of yards now in Miami history. Now start going back through Miami history. Start looking at some of the names on that wide receiver list.
Got some good ones.
Oh, man.
Hall of Famer Andre Johnson, Santana Moss. They have just got some studs. And Restrepo, the coaches could not, Michael Irvin, they could not rave about him any more than they did. And it's just his competitiveness. Every play looks the same. He'll block, he'll do the dirty work. It's a treat for them to coach.
That's good defense that time by Deshaun Rucker. Knocked it away from Sam Brown. Well, Restrepo, along with Sam Brown Jr. and Jacoby George, make up the trio for Miami of wide receivers on that Biletnikoff watch list. They're the only team in America with 3 on that list.
And who's the one who's really been giving South Florida work tonight? It's been Isaiah Horton.
That's true.
So, I mean, they've got 4 of them, plus the tight end who's going to be a first rounder in the Royal.
So you're saying they've got talent?
They've got a few dudes.
Can USF get a stop here? A lot of time left in this game. A 2-possession game, 3rd and 8. They bring a blitz off the edge. Across his body is Cam Ward on target to guess who? The forgotten man, Isaiah Horton. First down.
And it's just a nice job of Isaiah Horton. You'll see him coming to your screen on the right side. You see Cam looking left, feels the pressure coming off his edge. Deshaun Rucker on the corner fire from the boundary, the blitz. They're playing zone coverage behind it, corner fire zone. And then you just see Isaiah Horton find that zone void. It's just clinic work as far as how to make a play on a second reaction type of situation where the first read is not there. The quarterback makes it work.
Floats one down the sideline in stride. Restrepo into the red zone. 331 yards passing for Cam Ward.
There it is again. They know they got man coverage. The DBs are on the same level, meaning they're not staggered. They're going to naturally pick themselves on that kind of rub release. That's what happens. You have to get on different levels, meaning one guy has to back up and give room for the other guy. If you're going to lock that coverage, meaning you're just going to stay with your man and not pass it off, you got to create space so you can get through there. Miami says, hey, you're not going to do it? We'll just keep running these pick routes. And Restrepo's going to keep racking up yardage.
One-on-one at the goal line, falling backwards. Horton, touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
3rd touchdown pass for Cam Ward. He's done that again as well.
Look, he sees it all the way. Isaiah Horton is 6'4". And just look at the concentration. He's going up against South Florida's best corner, Deshaun Rucker. And again, Rucker's holding his jersey, trying to pull him down, trying to get his head around, trying to find the ball.
Ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Concentration is just sick on that play. He hits the ground as the ball, has it broken the plane of the goal line. Maintains control of it. See there, down as the ball broken the plane.
Well, those last couple of shots obviously are not the conclusive ones you need. This would be your best look.
Oh, that's so close.
I mean, if it's not a touchdown, you're going to place this ball with the nose of the football almost touching the goal line. So that's so close. I don't know. And we might as well bring in Matt Austin to see if he has any reason to say that this is something you would overturn. Matt, to me, do you see anything there that's definitive to say he's short of the goal line?
You know, I really don't, Bob. When I first saw it, I thought, okay, his bottom's on the ground, the ball's short, but you can't see the far side of the football.
After reviewing the play, the receiver caught the ball, but his backside was down with the ball at the half-yard line. It will be 1st and goal.
Yeah, his backside was down. The ball was absolutely positively not at the half-yard line.
Like the 1/1000th yard line.
I mean, Isaiah Horton, you absolutely have a case.
You see Isaiah Horton there on your screen. This is a highly competitive group. I mean, seriously, think about this wide receiver core. Think about what this young man has done tonight. The body type, that length and that speed and that quickness as a DB, that's so hard to deal with. It's so hard. He's got the quickness of a guy who's 5'11", 175, and he's 6'2", 6'3". Actually 6'4".
They just took one away from Isaiah Horton, and they may have set it up for a Damian Martinez hat trick, as he is in for his 3rd. And Miami builds on their lead. Martinez has 9 yards rushing, and he's got 3 touchdowns.
It's just the big play component of this passing offense. It's just such a strain, both physically and mentally, to deal with guys who are just this talented. And if offensively you can't capitalize on scoring opportunities, you have self-inflicted penalties that kill drives. It's just going to steamroll downhill on you eventually. Again, the right side of that offensive line. Do you just see what the right tackle, do you see what Maui Noah does at the point of attack? I mean, for Mario Cristobal to even use the name Penei Sewell in terms of really trying to define the kind of impact that Maui Noah has had on the offensive line, that's high, high praise for a sophomore. Cam Ward letting them know.
So a 3-score lead now for Miami in the final minute of the 3rd. And now we're starting to see on the scoreboard, Lewis, the price that USF is paying for field goals instead of touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, they had their opportunities to keep this game close and to put the pressure on Miami and drag them into an area of the game where they haven't been accustomed to being, but now they let them off the hook in Miami, saying, we're going to make you pay.
Joyner from the 5. They run a reverse. And they get out to about the 26-yard line. That's Jaquan Smith on the trick play. Just about creased it. Let's go back to Matt. Avery Johnson off to such an impressive start for Kansas State. They're going to be a factor in the Big 12 all season long. That throw ripped over the middle. Peyton Singletary Running the left sideline to midfield and across to the Miami 48-yard line. Gain of 26.
That's a nice throw and catch. You can see that route developing, and there you can see Peyton Singletary and how he can run on that wide cross. The tight end going across formation.
Quarterback run for Brown. Spins down to about the 42 of UN. They couldn't even get the chain set to catch up. Second down and 4.
They're in absolute hyperdrive right now, trying to get something going.
Slant, Atkins, first down and more. Let's see if they get another snap off before the end of the quarter. Most likely not. They're lining up, 3 seconds to go. And that will end the third quarter with South Florida down 36-15 as the Canes with a statement in the third quarter. 3 touchdown runs tonight for Damian Martinez. That close to a touchdown catch for Isaiah Horton as well.
Coach, what have you thought about the way your defense has adjusted to the tempo that USF's been giving you all night long?
Well, it was a goal to come on third quarter and get a shutout. You know, we did that. Now we've given a couple of yards up here. And we got to get back on track, right? But when you play against them, it's about getting stops. We got those in the third quarter. We got to carry that over the fourth quarter.
Thank you, Coach.
We talked earlier about how much we enjoyed speaking with Alex Golesh. You had just as much fun talking to Mario Cristobal yesterday.
He's the quintessential former offensive lineman, man. he has that offensive lineman's mentality. Just the way he talks, the way he thinks about the game, the way he thinks about program building, all of it. I mean, it's just, the thing about it, I had to remind him, I said, you know, Mario, we played against each other in 1988, 89. I played against Miami. 1 game at Pittsburgh, 1 game down at Miami.
You think
he ever
safety blitzed and met him
he started talking about guys like Mark Spindler, Tony Saragusa, all the defensive linemen. The late Tony Saragusa, the defensive linemen he played against, which were great players. But he played on some great teams himself. But it's just like, I think one of the things that he told Chris that was very, very key there, in terms of when you're playing a team that plays at a frenetic pace, stops are key, because stops mean, okay, the pace is over, and now you're off the field, and now you can get your offense back on the field, and that really changed the tenor of the game.
And after that last quarterback run, Byron Brown before a 3rd down and 8 for USF, down by 3 scores, hurt early here in the fourth quarter. Hard to tell exactly what the injury is to Byron Brown as he left the field a moment ago, encouraging Bryce Archie, and has a slight limp, but Lewis went to the tent, so Bryce Archie will take over, at least for the time being, again at quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard to say what exactly it is that Byron Brown is dealing with right here, but the way he tapped Bryce Archie on the helmet almost is like he was telling him, you got it.
Archie to throw. He's going to float one on 3rd down to the pylon, and it's incomplete for Yassine. What almost looked like a non-contact injury for Byron Brown.
It's just so hard to say with the way you guys have been cramping up here. You see right there, his left foot was the one that got planted in the ground, and then you see the defender Powell fall on his right foot when he's laying on the ground. It's just hard to tell.
And now it looks like he's heading back to the locker room. Bryce Archie, the backup, tries on 4th down. Again, he's going to take a one-on-one shot to the end zone, hoping for Atkins. Flag it. Jadis Richard in coverage. And it looks like USF might get bailed out with a flag in the end zone.
Interference. Defense number 25. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
And we have another injury. Mike Lofton, the USF center, down on 1 knee.
So you're going to see Jadis Richard coming into your screen, trying to get his head around while he's hand fighting with Sean Atkins in the end zone. You see it here. grabs him in the face mask. Lots of hand fighting. The call's going to go to the offense every time.
I cannot remember a game where the trainers had to come out and tend to so many players. Mike Lofton, the starting center for USF, is now down on one knee. And again, Byron Brown just had to go back to the USF locker room. Now, thankfully, many of the players that have left the field, hopefully a decent number of cramps have been the problem tonight as well. Many of the players have been able to return. So it doesn't seem as if a lot of the injuries have been serious in nature. But this has been a game that health-wise has taken its toll on both of these teams. And right now it's another offensive lineman down for the Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, look, this has been a hard-fought game, and it's been a long game, and it is hot and it's humid out here. And you're right, some of those soft tissue issues that guys are having with cramping. I mean, again, it doesn't matter how much you train down here and how much you've lived down here. When you get into a football game and you're playing against another team and you're putting forth all that effort, and especially on the part of Miami defense, when they're running up and down the field chasing this offense around, that's hard.
Yep.
It's hard, man. And now you're seeing guys just kind of dropping left and right. And this is why teams really put an emphasis on roster development. I mean, Mario Cristobal talks about that. They played over, you know, something like almost triple-digit guys against Ball State, or rather in their first game of the season they did. And it's just one of those, it's one of these things where these are kind of, that's one of the reasons why they do that. And here tonight, this has been a battle.
Now the proof is in how many guys have gone down. And Mike Lofton slowly walking to the sideline. The AAC on ESPN Plus is your exclusive home for more than 1,000 games and events. It's also the destination for All-American Championships, as well as the All Access Series. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/AAC or download the ESPN app. So after the penalty with Bryce Archie in at quarterback, a fresh set of downs in the red zone. Little zone read and a screen out to the tight end Peyton Singletary. He picks up the yard. The freshman O.J. Frederick, starting corner, came up to make the stop.
Again, that player development, Frederick is someone who they love. They love his toughness, his skill set.
And now a sack. The pocket collapses. Simeon Barrow was there along with Kiko Mauinoa. A loss of 5.
Getting down into the red area has not been a problem for South Florida. It's just converting it into touchdowns. It's just really been something where Miami has been on it in that situation.
Might be a free play here. Archie's going to take a shot. Incomplete. A dive for Yassine. But it looked like, I believe it was Barrow that jumped in the neutral zone. And USF was able to snap it.
Offside. Defense number 10. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So that'll make it 3rd down and 10 back at the 13-yard line.
If you're South Florida, it'd be good for you to just show some execution down here and being able to get the ball in the end zone. Just being able to call a route combination, someone can get open, score a touchdown. Just so the players have something to feel good about when they go back to the film room and dissect this game.
Gaines are coming after the backup quarterback. Hit as he throws. Double coverage, and it might be a pick. Mish Powell. Did he toe tap? He did not. He held on to the football, but he didn't get a foot down in the back of the end zone as Bryce Archie was hit hard just as he released the ball.
Defensive coordinator Lance Guidry just decided to light him up. I don't know, is that right foot in?
Sure looked like it.
You might want to take a look at that one. That one looks like that could have been an interception.
And for all the times that replay has stopped the game when it wasn't impactful, this is a time that it's a takeaway.
Of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Now that should be an interception, it looked like, for Michelle Powell.
You can just see what defensive coordinator Lance Guidry is thinking. Backup quarterbacks in, let's heat them up instantly. Go to man-to-man coverage, max blitz, get some hits on him, welcome him to this football game. You see Powell here. That right foot looks like it gets in. You can see it better from a different angle. He's got the ball. Right foot down, clearly in bounds. This is going to be Miami football.
Yeah, Mish Powell, the Washington transfer. And defensive coordinator Lance Guidry told us he is the leader. He makes all the calls back there. And he is the most talkative.
You know what's
he said funny the way he said it. He said, we've got all these Southern kids on the team. You'd think they'd be the happiest. And this kid from the Pacific Northwest comes down here and out talks them all.
Yeah, it was funny how he described that. You got a bunch of alphas, a bunch of just high quality, high character, tough football players. He says nobody wants to talk. All of them are quiet. But they don't play quiet.
Yeah, not Mish Powell. He is the guy that talks the most. And as a result, he is the leader and the real communicator and the back end of that Miami defense.
You see Guidry there on your screen. He was fun to talk to, man. A lot of energy, a lot of juice. He was very direct about exactly what the plan was going to be.
After reviewing the play, the defensive player caught the ball with a foot down inbounds. It is a touchback.
So as expected, Mish Powell gets the pick. And Miami has the football with 13:20 to go. And a 36-15 lead.
There it is. There's that swag. There. That's the you that I played against. Those are the guys I played against.
That you remember fondly?
Yeah. Yeah, fondly, all right. I'm telling you, this football team is starting to feel itself. It's starting to believe that, hey, we've got depth, we've got playmakers, we've got big guys, we've got a coach who knows what it was like to win at a high level and allowing players to be themselves back in the 80s and 90s. We've had 2 great recruiting classes. We got the best guy out of the portal. The quarterback who's making his claim right now for the Heisman Trophy early on in this football season, just ripping off chunks of yardage week after week after week. Hey, there's a lot to be optimistic about in South Florida. A lot to be optimistic about.
Shannon Dawson, offensive coordinator, said he had a meeting with the players and said, guys, the only thing that's going to get us in trouble this year is if we're selfish.
Yeah. How about that?
We have a whole group of guys that's just happy for the success of each other. And instead of being a guy that needs 8 catches, you're happy with your 4 and someone else getting 4. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, the great Pat Riley called that the disease of me.
Nice little butt curl. Catch and run for Restrepo and a first down.
I mean, that kind of thing, when you're having success, are you still happy? Are you still happy for your teammates? As you see here, Restrepo, again, here's one of those guys that they talked about. One of the best players on the team, one of the most productive players on the team. Every play, it doesn't matter if it's coming to him or not. And as a matter of fact, you know, as they told us, these wide receivers don't know if the ball's coming to him because Cam is the one who makes those decisions. Nobody complains. Nobody politics with him. They trust him to organically run this offense, and everybody just does their part. And for a coach, that's the sweet spot.
Straight ahead run for Martinez. He gets a push. He's got 7 yards. And to Shannon Dawson's point, 363 yards passing for Cam Ward. 8 different targets have shared in his production.
Shannon Dawson was fun to talk to, too.
Yes.
He would have sat there and talked all night. He just had some great nuggets, just some great wisdom, great football talk. Just look at this here. This young man is on it. He is on it. Shannon said, look, in the coach to player communication, I don't have to say much at all. He said, sometimes I don't even know what's going to happen because Cam changes so many plays at the line of scrimmage. He just gives him free rein.
And now the ground game goes to work. And Martinez, who had not piled up any yards on the ground, he basically did all his work at the goal line. Now you can see not only probably fatigue for the USF defense, but probably a little demoralized at this point, looking at the scoreboard, realizing that this one is all but over.
Yeah, their window of opportunity looks like it's closing fast. If you really studied the depth that this team has at running back and on the offensive line, I mean, some of these guys are, I mean, And the way they throw the football, man, you tell me how you slow down this offense.
Jordan Lyle picks up 2. Back to Matt. And we've got about 10 minutes to go in our game here before we get you to K-State BYU. And Miami now content to work on the clock as much as they are working on the USF defense. A swing pass in the right flat. Elijah Lofton, talented freshman tight end, inside the 30-yard line before he's bumped out by Deshaun Rucker.
Just think about the tight end room in particular, the way that that group has really put its stamp on this season early on. How Cam Ward has really utilized all the players at that position, where last year, you know, Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, said he used to get a lot of questions about that, like why aren't the tight ends, why aren't they a big part of this offense? Well, look at them now. They've got 3 really good ones, 4 good ones. Just depth everywhere on this football team.
Restrepo wide open inside the 10. First and goal at the 8.
See Restrepo, you're going to see him just run an out route, just sets it up perfectly. He's going to come into your screen right here. And he's just a very good route runner, lots of speed out of the break. You see Cam just drift to his left a little bit, getting closer to the throw, put it on the money. Nice, easy, catchable ball. It's like practice.
Martinez looking for his 4th touchdown of the night. He only gets to the 5-yard line. This time, Mac Harris made the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Speaking of practice, Mario Cristobal told us, like back in the day, the games were the reward because practices were so hard.
Yeah.
And he's trying to establish that culture once again. And you can see, just look at the demeanor of these players out here on the field. Look at what they're doing after you know, to the whistle, how they're still competing. These guys all want a little cut of it. They want a piece of it. They want a piece of the action, no matter who they put out here on the football field. You can tell this is their reward.
Fade route, incomplete. Sam Brown looking for his 2nd. He couldn't haul it in. Well, I mean, up until recently, there was no indoor facility at Miami. Like back in the day, everything was outside, in the rain, in the heat. And he talked about that practice field back in the days of Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson. It was hallowed grounds.
Yeah.
The wars in practice. You talk about good on good. The practices of the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
I remember going down there for some of the pro days when I was working in the front office. Going down there for the late Sean Taylor, my favorite player ever. Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams, Ed Reed, Jeremy Shockey, Vince Wilfork.
Another fade route. This one for Restrepo, and this one is a Miami touchdown. That puts Cam Ward over 400 yards passing, and that is his 3rd touchdown pass of the night.
You see it again, man coverage. This little rub route, we see it over and over and over again. We see it every single week, this level, the NFL level. You've got to know it by alignment, by formation. Got to anticipate it, because if you don't, that's what happens. People are coming up with touchdown celebrations, waving to the crowd, telling them it's over, go home.
Touchdown reception of the year for Xavier Restrepo. He had a pair last week. He's got one this week. All Canes.
Too little.
Okay. Midway through the 4th quarter. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick and Chris Budden. And for those of you joining us here on ESPN News, as we have now over on ESPN joined the Kansas State BYU game, Miami and USF, the last 7 minutes and 44 seconds. Mario Cristobal's team with now a statement here on the road. And to your point, Louis, when you look at a 41-17 win at the Swamp to begin the year, then obviously wins against Florida A&M and Ball State, but then against a good, talented USF team to win by this margin and to pull away in the second half, it's a heck of a football team Miami has on their hands.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a product of a lot of work that has gone into this. They took care of the offense and defensive line this year in particular, and this is the result. You combine that with the best quarterback in the country, who may go #1 overall when he comes out, these are the results you get.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 19 hotel brands, 1 loyalty program. Download the app. And in part by Subaru. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Well, Miami capped their run of 5 national championships in 2001, but they won 4 in an 8-year span between 1983 and 1991. Of course, Mario Cristobal was a part of that run as this one goes through the hands of Atkins. Howard Schnellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson, Larry Coker, all head coaches of national championship teams. A couple for Dennis Erickson. And Mario Cristobal is trying to get them back to the top of the mountain. And we're going to take a look at their schedule coming up. Clemson is noticeably absent in the rotation of teams this year for Miami in the ACC. Now, they've got Louisville on there as a ranked team, certainly, and a couple of other solid opponents. but that slant is there for Brown-Stevens. There is no reason, Lewis, to think that they will not be a sizable favorite over every team that they've got left on their schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah, they're just so deep in terms of their roster. And they, like I said numerous times, they have continued to develop players, play a lot of players, play a lot of high-quality players. They've got great leadership. All of these kids are aware of the history of the school. All of these kids like to try and tap into the history of this school and like pick the brains of some of the guys who have played here before him. Kiko Mauinoa talked about the linebacker tradition of this university. Just think of some of the names that have played, from Vilma to DJ Williams, Ray Lewis, John Beeson, Bernard Clark, the Tiger, George Myra. I mean, they just have so many guys, and you can go position by position with this university.
Yep.
And these kids love to they like to hear about the history.
Kelly Joyner Jr. into the secondary. He was ankle tackled by Jaden Harris, and Harris is hurt.
Timeout for an injured player.
So the trainer's over to look at Jaden Harris, and hopefully he just has the wind knocked out of him. But Louisville on the road against a ranked team, that is certainly one to circle. And look, Florida State, we've had them a couple of times this year, and they have really struggled. Funny things happen sometimes in rivalry games. It's hard to win on the road, but it's also hard to see a team on their schedule that Miami is not going to be picked to beat.
Yeah, I mean, if they're motivated and they're healthy, look, it'll be hard for them not to be heavily favored, as you mentioned, in every one of those games. I mean, this is a team that's on a mission now. I mean, it's just sometimes it is what it is. This team is good. They have put together a solid team. They have stacked recruiting classes together, supplemented it with the transfer portal, with that guy right there being the prize get that they got. I mean, the big get, the big catch. Him not going to the pros and deciding to come to Miami, and where he said the reason why he wanted to go to Miami, because he wanted to win, because he thought that was something that NFL scouts wanted to see him do. They wanted to see him win at a high level and lift the program, affect other people at a high level, and he's doing that now. I mean, he is doing that. The numbers he is putting up are simply ridiculous, and these aren't just fluff numbers. These aren't just throwing to wide open receivers. He is controlling the action from the line of scrimmage. And he is a very intelligent individual. We showed some of his breakdowns earlier in this broadcast about his pre-snap recognition is as good as anybody's in the country. And then his ability to make decisions, manipulate defenders, throw the football from different arm angles, different platforms. It's just all there. It's all there. And then you get to the best part, the intangibles, the football character. You tell me where the holes are.
No hole this time for Bryce Archie as he disappears in the arms of Kiko Mauinoa. Well, the brothers Mauinoa have made a big impact tonight. Kiko on the defensive side, Corsisi on the offensive side. It's amazing how American Samoa, right, this tiny island out in the Pacific, where football has become kind of the national sport, according to Kiko. He said, it's really our favorite sport. He said, my brothers played. I was small and skinny. I played quarterback. Came to the U.S. high school sophomore, fell in love with defense, so I became a linebacker, but it was all I wanted to do because my brothers played, and it's really our favorite sport there. We love contact. There's only 6 teams on our island, so our playoffs are 2 rounds. We all play each other. But our coaches are all so invested, and that's where all of that talent comes from. And if you look at certain schools, especially in the old Pac-12 at Washington State, where, you know, Kiko made a name for himself, a heavy pipeline of Polynesian players would be at places like Washington State, BYU, and Utah and whatnot. And a lot of those guys end up in the NFL.
Yeah, they sure do. Think about Washington State. Just think about what Washington State has helped Miami with.
Yeah.
Now we know it now with Cam. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
not that they wanted it that way, but you know, I mean, that's a good football program out there. And getting a chance to see them last year, they have put some good players into the league, man. They play good football out there. That coaching staff is spectacular.
From the Palouse to the Grove.
That's a long trip, dude. That's a long trip.
It's a happy trip when you arrive. Next Saturday on ABC and ESPN Plus, 7:30 Eastern, Georgia, Alabama, Tuscaloosa, the spot for number 2 against number 4. Saturday night, SEC on ABC football. And the quarterback showdown.
Indeed.
Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe, both off to terrific starts as expected this year.
And just 2 stud athletes. Come on. I mean, how good is that? Bama, Georgia. Doesn't get any bigger than that. Simply doesn't get any bigger than that. That's heavyweight football at the college level.
So Cam Ward's night is done as A.J. Allen takes a handoff. Cam Ward finishes 24 of 34, 404 yards, 3 touchdowns, and really a tough luck pick, a carom ball pick. But Reese Poffenbarger goes in now to finish off this game with 4:20 to go.
And I'm talking about as one of the keys to the game. Can Miami establish the run game and dominate the line of scrimmage because of some of the struggles that South Florida has had stopping the run? But why run it when you got Cam Ward? I mean, at some point they'll be able to rely on it. They'll have to rely on it. I don't know when, but they will. I mean, they're just so multi-dimensional on that side of the ball. .404 yards.
He was their leading rusher as well with 43 yards scrambling.
Just to think, played in a wing T offense in high school. They knew he could throw it, but they were winning games, he said, so he said he didn't complain about it, although he knew he could still throw it when he was in high school. 0-star recruit, Cam Ward. His self-belief and his journey is something that you want to emulate.
They're going to run it with Lyle, and he breaks free. There goes the true freshman. Turns on the afterburners. House call, touchdown. 91 yards. Speed to spare. It is everywhere for this Miami team. Five straight second half touchdown drives for the U. And they've got 50 on the board.
See, this is what happens when you try to do too much or you try to compensate. Look at Tafik Bayard right here. He's going to peek his nose in this gap right here, but that's really not his responsibility. His responsibility is to be a force player outside. But he sees this hole opening up. The running back kind of dips into it, and then he just jumps it outside. And now you have a breakdown. Now you're not doing what you're supposed to because you see someone else who's not really executing the technique the way they need to. And now you let a guy outside the gate, and Jordan Lyle says, see ya. I'm going to make a house call, a real big one.
Well, a week after they put 750 yards of offense, a program record, and the second most passing yards they've ever had, 507 all-time on Ball State. They've got 583 yards of offense and half 100 on the scoreboard tonight. In a game, by the way, that with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half, they trailed.
First drive of this half, where South Florida basically stalled out and killed their own drive, just changed everything. Now look at this. I said Miami dominate the line of scrimmage, 170+ rush yards. That really wasn't the key to the game, but they got 179 yards, especially with that long one right there. Defense make Byron Brown throw to win. 254 pass yards by Byron Brown, no TDs. Great red zone defense. Nailed it. for South Florida. Go super fast and wear down Miami defense. They were doing that a little bit in the first half. They had Miami on their heels a bit. They adjusted in the second half, started getting some stops. Changed the picture on Cameron Ward, get him off rhythm. They tried to change the picture. He was able then to just decipher what was going on post-snap. And they never got him off rhythm, never put a glove on him, never made him feel pressure and make him change up or speed up his decision-making process. And what's the result? 400 yards passing.
Naquan Wright, after that slant to Yassine, created a first down, picks up a yard. And we have another injured player, and it's another injured offensive lineman, it would appear, for USF. It looks like R.J. Perry, a left tackle. And it looks like he is holding the right side of his chest. Again, we talked about this earlier, Lewis, but certainly bears repeating that Miami's trying to bring back the glory days of old.
I mean, these are the kind of statement wins. It's not just about the score. It's not just about the points. It's about how they're playing, the attitude that they're playing with. You got to watch the body language of the players who are still on the field, the starters who are still on the field, and then the guys who just want theirs. They want a cut of this. They want a piece of this. Guys like Jordan Lyle, you see how hard he was running? I mean, he's watched Damian Martinez rack up, what, 3 rushing touchdowns tonight? He's like, hey, I want to get in the end zone too. And then you still got guys like Mark Fletcher, as talented as he is, Chris Johnson Jr. He hasn't gotten a chance to really show you the kind of speed that he has, 10-4 in 100 meters, 22 plus on the GPS. They've got dudes, man, and these guys are all hungry. And just like Coach Dawson said, if they do not get selfish, and I started talking about the disease of me that Pat Riley talks about in his book, I think it's called The Winner Within. If they continue to pull for one another as they're winning, even if they don't always get the spotlight and get all the glory, and they don't start detracting from the success because they're jealous about not getting theirs, this team's going to be hard to beat. And you just see, look at those guys all there standing there on the sideline. Look at the smiles on their faces. That's the best part of sports. That's the best part of being a part of a team. And a part of a team that you know is good.
They're piling up points, and it's hard to believe. I mean, going back to all those great teams, that they have never had a 4-game start like the 4-game start this team is having. But here we are, 209 points already this season, the most through 4 games in the history of Hurricane football.
And Mario Cristobal, and his offensive line voice will be telling you there's a lot of work left to do. We got a lot of season left to play. We haven't done anything yet. And he's right. They haven't. But he also knows when he probably sits down in his office down there in Coral Gables and he's kind of sitting there turning on the tape, he's going, yeah, I fixed this defensive line. This offensive line is strong. 2 back-to-back recruiting classes that some recruiting services think are the best in Miami history. Yeah, let's just keep this thing rolling. The playoffs are going to be spectacular, Bob. I mean, they're just going to be spectacular. I can't wait to see the best of the best get together and play each other.
As Joshua Porter gets tossed back, we have reached the 2-minute timeout here in Tampa. The Canes with a statement on the road. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. And the Canes fans that made the trip over, happy they did, because they have seen a dominant second half. And again, hard to believe that this was a 2-point USF lead late second quarter. But then it became the Cam Ward show and the Canes show here in the second half. And it's going to be a statement win on the road for Miami. It would appear 50-15 with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We did see Byron Brown, by the way, emerge from the locker room and take some warm-up throws. They're going to let Bryce Archie finish out the game, but It was good to see Byron Brown, who left the game earlier with an injury for USF, at least come back out and throw the ball a little bit. So hopefully that bodes well for him as their season moves on.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great kid. He's someone who's continuing to develop his game as a passer. And he's going to put in the work. This will not.
That's a tip ball. That looks like another Miami takeaway. Miles Muya on the carom, ends up with a pick. So this should be the Canes, you would think, taking a knee with 1:50 to go as the celebration continues on their sideline.
They're having fun. Feels good to win. Feels good to dominate. You can just see Cam Ward. Cam Ward's been walking up and down this sideline, talking to all different players, offense, defense, coaches. You see him there, just continuing to stay locked into the game. Talking to offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson. You just can't say enough good things about what this program has put on tape so far here through the first quarter of the season. First third of the season. You can't say enough about it. I mean, it is what it is. This football team is loaded. This football team plays hard. They're well coached. There's a lot of good football being played across the country in college football right now. The Titans are who they are. We know who the big wigs are. We know who the powerful teams are. We also know the teams that are going to get into the playoffs. And as this season has already shown you, anything can happen on any given Saturday or Friday or Thursday or whenever they play the games. We did a game Monday. This is going to be a fun season.
And they're giving Jordan Lyle, who ran 91 yards for a touchdown on the last possession, a couple of more opportunities down to the final 50 seconds. He's got 99 yards rushing now. So a chance possibly for the true freshman to have his first 100-yard game. Give it to him one more time, and yes, indeed, he's got 100 yards, and that will do it. So a 100-yard game for the freshman Jordan Lyle. The story, though, Cam Ward. As for Mario Cristobal, his quarterback racks up 404 yards and 3 touchdowns, and it is a convincing 50-15 win for Miami here in Tampa against USF. Let's head down to Chris Button.
We're going to talk with Mario Cristobal in just a second as he hugs his family. Gets a quick picture to celebrate. Coach, I want to start on defense, because when we talked after the third quarter, you talked about stops, you talked about pitching a shutout. What'd you like about the response from your defense tonight?
We just mentioned they pitched a shutout. You know, and there they made up their mind we're going to start playing to the standard of Miami Hurricane football, and that is blocking and tackling, getting guys on the ground, getting off the field on third down, and not get involved in some of the post-snap stuff. And they did that. The defense was unbelievable, and I thought it was epitomized by that interception after getting that interference call.
Cam Ward, pretty unbelievable tonight as well. What impresses you the most about him the more you see him out here on a game day, the way that he manages that offense?
He's just unfazed. You know, he's the ultimate leader. You know, him, the defense feeds off of him. He feeds off of the defense. He just wants to get better. He's probably going to be really hard on himself and felt that he missed some throws out there today. But what can you can't say enough great things about the guy.
Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Go Canes.
How hard could he be on himself after that performance tonight?
There's always things that, you know, that we miss up here when we're calling the game, that maybe he thought a throw could have been placed better, a better read. You know, like on the interception, did he not put it on the receiver good enough? What's interesting is that you know, Coach Cristobal said what characterizes great players. And he said it's guys who are grumpy. And this is a grumpy guy right here.
Let's find out how grumpy, Chris.
I just talked with Coach. He said you're going to be hard on yourself after this win because of some throws that you might want back. What are you going to look back on today in self-critique?
Just kind of a small target. I felt early on I was getting too antsy for the big play. But as the game progressed, I honed in. I was able to hit my receivers. But that's all I got to do. I just got to put around them, and they're going to make plays.
You guys scored a touchdown on every single possession in the second half. With the weapons that you have, how fun is this offense?
It's real fun, especially when you're a quarterback here. I mean, all you got to do is hand the ball off and throw the wide open people. So the receivers came out to play. We told them this week's going to be a challenge for them, and they rise to the occasion. But them boys, they go at it every day against the defense. So, they're going to do their job. I'm going to just put the ball in play, and, we try to get another win.
I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
He's got it rolling, and the Canes have it rolling as well. What a performance for Miami. 50-15 is your final. The Canes over USF. And again, looking at the schedule for the Canes moving ahead, conference play now begins. It is hard to imagine that there may be any roadblocks between the Canes and an undefeated season. For Louis Riddick and Chris Button, I'm Bob Wischusen. Thanks so much for watching. So long from Tampa.